little bit more room. Hey, thumb on the football! And a big man scrambling!
Action pass to him. He fires to the top. One-handed catch.
Buchanan Simons is open. Breaks the tackle. This is going to be a 70-yard touchdown. Buchanan Simons. Over the top, and that might be the most impressive interception all day. What a shoot!
Breaking through the tackle.
Oh no!
What a ridiculous sequence of events.
He's got Heath McDaniel Jr. inside the 10 to the 5. Touchdown, Carolina.
The kick is blocked from Zuderveld. It's loose.
How? What?
And welcome to Sim Football Pregame along with Mike St. Green. I'm Cameron Irvine, and we are ready for a terrific day of playoff action. Mike, how you doing? Good afternoon.
Hey, doing good, Cam. If that intro doesn't get you pumped up, man, as it does me every time I hear it, maybe you don't have a pulse, and it being a playoff Sunday, it gets me even more pumped up.
Ton of top plays from last season and a ton of top plays from this season coming up on this program as we begin Wild Card Sunday after a couple of games yesterday. Mike, we've got a great block today. Let's preview it here, set the stage before we get into the juiciness of our pregame. Charleston and Los Angeles take on each other on For the Fans. That comes your way in about an hour. St. Louis, Vancouver later today. After a couple of definitely one blowout, but a couple of not close games yesterday, I think we're going to get treated to some good ones today, Mike.
Cam, we could call them what they were. They were two blowouts. They were never really competitive, either one of those games yesterday. But this first game on the slate, Cam, I expect to see definitely a tough, tight game. Both of these defenses are top defenses in the league. Charleston, they've given up the second least points all season long, and LA not far behind, giving up about 270 points on the season. So two great defenses, two great secondaries. That's what we expect to see out of that first matchup today.
Los Angeles and Charleston comes your way first today here on For the Fans. And, this should be a game of defense, I would imagine. Mm-hmm. Break down what you think of this LA-Charleston matchup heading into the day.
Well, Cam, they're very comparable teams on offense, in that they like to run the ball. Robert Johnson, star running back with Los Angeles, he's just a little over 1,000 yards this season, 8 touchdowns on the ground, compared to Charleston's running back of Keith Swearingen, 1,141 yards on the season and 9 touchdowns. So that's the way these teams like to get it done offensively. But more importantly, as I mentioned, these teams' defense, that's what I expect to see a lot of today. Rochelle Colston on the Los Angeles side, as well as Ryan Yosef, they lead this team in interceptions, and Rochelle also has 109 tackles on the season. So they're two safeties that like to get their nose in there and get involved with a lot of the LA defense, and a lot of the same from Charleston. Their defensive secondary led by Zach Lay with 9 interceptions and Corey Minner with 7. Corey Minner is one of the best cornerbacks in this league, and but they also have Jack Brown, veteran linebacker in there, 127 tackles, leads that team. So I just expect to see a lot of ground and pound, and the defenses are going to step up today. So it's going to be in for one of those tough 3 yards in the cloud of dust type matchups.
Now, later on today, St. Louis takes on Vancouver on the SFL family of networks. That's the 12-5 matchup, and that's what really kind of sets the stage for the quarterfinals as we finalize all of our matchups. But St. Louis is interesting because they beat Vancouver just a few weeks ago, but you can't deny the Legion's terrific numbers. Tom Pepper leading the league in passing yards. St. Louis best in the league in total defense. This is just going to be a battle of completely different styles later on this afternoon.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Cam. As everyone knows, Vancouver, they like to air it out, put the ball in the air. As you see, their number 1 pass offense in the league. Tom Pepper's been one of the top quarterbacks in this league for a long, long time now. And but St. Louis, talking about secondaries, they have a cluster of great corners and safeties over there that's going to give that Vancouver offense all that they can handle. But also on that offensive side of the ball, Cam, they do like to put it up in the air themselves. They have Igor Mondavi and Paul Delavu, that 2 top receivers over there. They like to sling it around to those guys. So it's going to be an interesting contrast of styles in that matchup later on today.
When we come back from this break, we will wrap up what happened in the SFL wildcard round yesterday. As you saw, Vegas and Arizona won. We'll tell you how they did it, get you up to speed on the playoff bracket and what these games mean today for quarterfinal matchups. That's all coming up after the break. You're watching Sim Football Pregame on For the Fans. This is SFL Game Day wrap-up for Saturday as we get ready for the Sunday slate, going over the Saturday wild-card games. Mike, let's start with Las Vegas beating Queen City in an upset, 34-20. It wasn't necessarily fury early, but right around the end of the first quarter, a big pick six by Merrick Itera, tipped by Tom Krieg, really flipped the momentum, and we never saw the dominant Queen City that went 6-0 to start the season for the rest of the game.
Yeah, Cam, as you just mentioned, I almost took the words right out of my mouth. This game was in Queen City's control, going the way that they would probably typically like for a game to go early on in the first quarter. Judah Dorgan had an early field goal in this game, and they followed that with a Ted Haynes interception, and they looked like they were in control of this game. But in the drive following Ted Haynes' interception, everything turned around. As you mentioned, Merrick Itera pick six, and then the rest of the game, and particularly the rest of the half for sure, it was all Las Vegas from that point on.
Is it surprising to you, Mike, after what we saw out of Las Vegas around the middle part of the season, that this team is even back in the quarterfinals? They just were so inconsistent all season long. It's kind of surprising that they are a top 8 team right now. All credit to the development of the team, but it just kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, Cam, as you mentioned, the middle of the season, I mean, they really weren't looking all that great at the end either. I mean, they played a game against Lone Star a couple of weeks ago, and I mean, it was one of the ugliest matchups you would ever want to see. I mean, the defense, they still won the game, and of course, credit to them. They had 7 interceptions off of Ace Fennick in that game, but their offense, they sputtered a lot as well in that game. But and as you mentioned, they're back in the quarterfinals, but they've done it in 2 different ways from one season to the next. They had rookie quarterbacks both seasons, but it seems like last season they just progressed as the season went on and got better and better and better. But this season, it was kind of an up and down season for them. But hey, you don't get style points in this league. They are in the quarterfinals, whether you win ugly or pretty or whatever. The W is the W.
I think the hard work now begins for Queen City. We saw how they can build a team in one off season. Now, can they keep that team? All that work and effort that they put into changing the culture back to a winning one in Queen City, can they maintain and retain that style? It was a very good look for Queen City, very unique offense in the sense that I think it was a game against Tulsa, was it, Mike, where they had a 20-play drive? I mean, they just did something totally different than everyone else, and it helped them make the playoffs this season.
Yeah, and kudos to everyone over there in Queen City, Cam, the GM, BJ Lovelace, head coach Chris Komisak. Both of those guys were in their first season over there. BJ Lovelace in his first season ever as a GM in this league. I mean, they did a great job of putting things together on the fly over there, and they came out of nowhere. No one expected to see this from Queen City this season, and you could see where, they had a solid season. 8 wins, 4 losses on the season, competed for the North Division Championship for a majority of that season up until they lost to Baltimore in week 11. But you can see where there are some holes that probably need to be filled. Jay Hayden was in his first season over there as a wide receiver, switching over from tight end. They had some growth there that could be made with their receiving core. They had the other rookie, I always fail to remember his name.
Doug Spelling.
Doug Spelling.
I got to start taking $1 from you every time you.
Yeah, every time I do that, I always remember. Yeah, but they got 2 receivers over there on that roster that have room for development to help out Jet Zero and AJ Caswell. With the passing game over there. So I expect this team to grow together and be even better and more effective next season.
I think this season more than any other, Mike, it feels like teams that have defenses with elite talent in the defensive backfield are crushing it. And that's, Vegas with Itera and Max Jackson, Tom Krieg has been incredible in the slot. Magel is underrated. Colin Trelli, they've got so many pieces. But then you've got the matchup here today on For the Fans with Los Angeles and Charleston, and those are 2 elite secondaries. You've got Baltimore with Giovanni Bolt. Jack Napier's having his best season in Atlanta. Mexico City's young secondary has been so good, and, of course, Jeffrey Daggs is a future Hall of Famer. And then, of course, Florida with Evan Carroll having one of his best games of his career, Ryan Davidson, all those guys. It just feels like if you've got an elite secondary, you've got a chance here in season 17. And I think Vegas's secondary was showing off against Queen City in a way that Queen City didn't necessarily have. Cody Griffin had a great season, but I wouldn't call Queen City an elite defense.
Yeah, I've all season long I've called them a no-name defense, but the rookie Cody Griffin definitely stood out over there with those guys. And but the ironic thing, Cam, is that the league seems to be going to more of a pass-happy league. And in turn, these great secondaries are needed if you want to compete and be in the playoff hunt and the championship hunt in this league. And as it's starting to turn out, these elite secondaries that we're seeing are, they're still in the playoffs. They're still in the hunt. And one of the better secondaries, as you mentioned, Las Vegas Fury. And they definitely put themselves on display in this game. And they pretty much turned this whole game around and gave Vegas a chance to win. And in turn, they did.
Everything moves in cycles, right, Mike? I mean, my hairstyle won't be popular for another 50 years. But when I'm 80, right, I'm going to be the cool guy, right? It's going to look good. But, it's a passing league now, or turning into a passing league. One of these teams is going to come out there and get some incredible running back to have a 2,000-yard season and make it to the semifinals of the championship in a couple of seasons, because that's just how it works, right? It just goes round and round.
Well, Cam, the Afro came back couple years back, but it's past me. I don't think I can get back to the 80s fro that I used to have back in the day. But
did you have an 80s fro back in the day?
Well, Cam,
need a picture of that.
I had to be cool, Cam, but I had to do what the cool kids did. But I don't get it with the hair. I don't get the hair comparison. I don't have it anymore. But the more things change, old things become new, as they say. Maybe the league will switch again and maybe become more run heavy. I don't see it here in the near future because, it's some great offensive weapons, receivers and quarterbacks in this league. But if you want to win, you better beef up that secondary to compete with these guys.
Ashley Jackson might single-handedly have brought the fro back all by herself, and she was awesome as well as the rest of the Arizona Scorpions yesterday. They beat London 47-28. And let's just start. Let's just break down either side of the ball. First, Arizona's offense was so balanced. Every time you thought they were going to pass, it seemed like they were handing it off to Moses or dumping it off to him out of the backfield. And then every time London needed a stop on third down, they were just getting beat with posts with the Hans brothers over the middle. And Arizona raced out to a start and made this a snoozer in the second half.
Yeah, and getting off the field on third down has been one of the biggest Achilles heels of the London Knights all season long. And Arizona, they took full advantage of that. If it wasn't James Hands, it was Donnie Hands. If it wasn't Donnie Hands, it was Will Todd. If it wasn't Will Todd, it was TJ Punk. And then, as you mentioned, they're going to mix in DJ Moses in there. And the London defense did not have an answer at all for the Arizona offense yesterday. Ashley Jackson had one of her best games of her career, and what can you say? I mean, about the only time that London even remotely slowed Arizona down was maybe inside the red zone a little bit, but it was a total almost 100% perfect performance yesterday from the Scorpions.
Now let's go to London's defense, and the question is, did they overthink it? Because they just held Baltimore to 24 points, the number one seed in the playoffs in Week 12, to get themselves into the playoffs. It was the lowest output offensively for Baltimore all season long. And I know that Arizona's a different team than Baltimore, but isn't it good enough to take on Arizona, or at least the bulk of the game plan? Isn't it good enough? They threw some interesting things at Arizona. Some of it worked. Most of it didn't.
Yeah, we definitely saw some things from London that we pretty much hadn't seen all season long. Maybe it was a decision to say, we're going to maybe throw them off their game, confuse them with something that they hadn't seen or scouted. But also when you do that, Cam, maybe you take your players out of the best position to perform, and in turn that they're not accustomed to, and in turn it may, it may not be, they're not accustomed to that, and then in turn you may not get the performance that you want. It's hard to say. As you mentioned, some of it worked. It was almost like a bend don't break type style. It seems like that the Knights employed yesterday. They did give them trouble in the red zone a little bit, but compound by the offense putting them in bad situations for a majority of the first half. Maybe that's why it didn't work out the way that they wanted.
And on the flip side, London's offense, I don't know that Arizona did anything particularly tremendous on defense, but London's offense did the old light switch flip on Robert Merrill and shut him off again. We've seen a couple of games down the stretch this season where he hasn't gotten a single carry, and then a couple of games this season where he's gotten plenty of carries. Now, sometimes London wins the games where he doesn't. Sometimes London wins the games when he does. But it's kind of bizarre in how there are just games where he is totally gone, and when you're taking up that much out of the salary cap, you got to get the ball. You got to get some touches. And I thought in that way London kind of beat themselves a little bit because they didn't utilize a weapon. Now, would that have meant that they won the game? I have no idea. But Pickler was in shotgun empty on first down a lot, and that kind of put London behind the sticks for much of the day.
Well, as you mentioned, one of the key words you just mentioned there was touches, Cam. I don't think running the ball with Robert Merrill is that big of a deal for London, but Robert Merrill's touches are definitely a huge deal for London. I mean, he had over 100 catches on the season, and those are touches, and more often than not, he was effective once he got those touches. So that was the important part for me. And as you mentioned, it just didn't seem like in first down situations, second down situations, he was put in a position where he could even get those touches and maybe throw the Arizona defense off a little bit. But man, they came out firing on the London offense and seemed to take the Knights out of everything that they really wanted to do and that they had like to accomplish. And in turn, this game was basically over at halftime, Cam.
Yeah, and the one thing that Arizona's defense did do, which I say one thing, but it was the thing, is there's nobody better than Eddie Gage in taking you out of what you like to do from the film that you've shown in previous weeks, right? Whatever you've shown over the last month, Eddie Gage is going to figure out how to shut it down. You have to deliver something different, especially in week 13 of the season, right? I mean, you've now shown Arizona 12 weeks of film, and Eddie Gage and Will Todd and the rest of the staff over there, they've got the tape, and I don't know that London showed them anything new that bothered the Arizona defense, and Arizona played sound football. You know, they did their job. They did what they were told to do, and across the board, everyone performed, particularly Bernard Smith with the 3 picks, just sensational. The youngin had a really nice day.
Yeah, and another key to that matchup as well, Cam, was that talking about taking someone away and taking their touches away. We didn't hear Vin Caglia's name much at all in that game yesterday. They did a good job of taking London's leading receiver out of the game.
3 catches through the first 3 quarters. Yeah.
14 touchdowns on the season, right at 100 catches. We didn't hear much from Vin at all in that game yesterday. And outside of Bernard Smith, as you mentioned, he had a big game as well with the 3 picks. Mark Mello up front, 3 sacks, kept the pressure on Johnny Pickler all day long, forced him into a lot of bad passes, a lot of quick reads. And in turn, as we mentioned in the game yesterday, we saw receivers open, but he just didn't have time to find them.
Arizona people in the chat getting all upset at us saying they didn't do anything special. Stop listening to the media. Stop whining. Go play football. That's what I now. How do you like that? But 47-28. They gave up a bunch of garbage time points, Mike, but this was a total shutout. It was 44-0 at the end of the third quarter, and Arizona just totally controlled the game. Their offense set the tone. London couldn't respond, and that was the end of that. Coming up on Sim Football pregame, we've got an interview with Chris Lee. We get a chance to sit down and meet with the Los Angeles Lycans wide receiver. He's had some breakout performances. L.A. and Charleston kick off in about 37 minutes time. Just settle in with us, get a nice beverage, and enjoy your Sunday. Beautiful weather here in Arkansas. Mike, how's it down there in Houston?
It couldn't be better, Cam. It's a Chamber of Commerce day, as they say down here in Houston. Yeah,
and I think it's beautiful all across the country and hopefully wherever you are at. So enjoy the day and stay tuned for more Sim Football pregame when we come back after this. Back here on Sim Football Pregame, Los Angeles and Charleston comes your way at 3:30 Eastern. Our third of 4 wildcard games this weekend in the Simulation Football League. Mike St. Green and Cameron Irvine with you. Earlier this week, we sat down with Los Angeles Lycans wide receiver Chris Lee, and Lee has been part of this special resurgence for this Los Angeles team. Mike, they were at rock bottom as Chicago faded away and new ownership came in. But Tom Rahman and Rochelle Colston have changed the culture around, and in 1 year, they've made back-to-back trips to the playoffs. They've been knocking on the door of Pacific League titles and trying to take that next step later on. And as you were saying to Chris earlier this week, it feel from the outside, it feels like, man, couldn't get any better. They've totally turned the team around, and on the inside, they're like, well, we could have closed out the Pacific and not given it away.
Yeah. They're definitely not happy with the finish that they had, Cam, but you're in the playoffs, you're in the dance, anything can happen. And Chris Lee is definitely a huge part of what the LA Lycans like to do. He's their leading receiver, 59 catches, 9 touchdowns, I believe he had. No, I'm sorry, 5 touchdowns he had on the season. The LA, they don't like to throw it around a lot, but Chris Lee is a big part of what they like to do. And Cam, he was first pick in LA Lycans history, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he was. And if you're watching on For the Fans right now, the chat is so much fun. Twitch.tv/FTF Next. You can see what all the players and the coaches and the owners are talking about. You can see Arizona feeling like they're disrespected because, Mike, newsflash, teams like to have chips on their shoulder in the SFL and all around sports. Tom Rahman's in there talking about what rock bottom is. I'm not going to say it on the air, but you can join us in the chat, twitch.tv/FTF Next, to see the conversation. Wow, we talked to Chris Lee. Take a listen. Our latest segment of People Behind Players. Today we have Los Angeles wide receiver Chris Lee, the first draft pick in Los Angeles Lycans history. How are you, Chris?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me, Cam.
Yeah, hey, Chris, glad you could come on with us. As Cam just mentioned, the first ever pick of the Los Angeles Lycans, your second season in the league. I was looking up a little bit of your numbers, man. You improved on your numbers from your rookie season to your second season. Your receiving yards, you pretty much doubled those. You improved on your touchdown catches. What's it been like the first 2 seasons in the league, especially over there with the LA Lycans?
Well, the locker room there is an amazing group of people. It's awesome to be there. It's great to have been selected by them. I am super excited about that. I feel that they're one of the biggest reasons for my increase in production has been the locker room, the coaches. We've worked together making game plans and on progression, and it's just all been more or less a well lubricated machine, making sure we could do the best we could do.
Yeah, to make the playoffs back-to-back seasons, Chris, is a pretty fortunate place to be. I know that LA had a couple of chances at division titles that slipped through their fingers, but I'm sure you realize how many players either have never been or are sitting at home right now, not in the postseason. Recall back to what last season was like, being in the playoffs against Fort Worth, the emotion of that, and what you expect from this weekend's playoff game against Charleston.
Last season, we were excited to be in the playoffs. A lot of people didn't expect we would end with a winning record or end with a record that would get us into the playoffs even. And there was some rumors that we might have had even less wins than 3 or 4, but it was great to actually come away with.
Hey, Tyler, I think he's talking about you.
Hey, I respect Tyler, though. Like, the amount of work he's put into the league, it was amazing, especially during his minors time. And he deserved the first pick that he got. He deserves the effort he puts forth. I just like poking a little bit of fun of him for that, just in a friendly manner. No disrespect. He's an awesome person.
But back to the playoffs, Chris, and that feeling. Sorry, I got you off track.
Sure, okay. But it was awesome to be in the playoffs. It's unfortunate it didn't go the way we wanted it to, and we're taking the loss from last season. We built on it, and we're ready to take more or wins. We're ready to take our first win in the playoffs, and we want to push all the way.
And Chris, in kind of in similar fashion as last season, you guys kind of backed into the playoffs a little bit, so to speak. Last season you lost 5 of the last 7 going into the playoffs, and this season, of course, you lost the last couple games that kind of cost you the division championship. But me personally, I see a little difference in this team. You guys seem a little bit more cohesive and better. What are we going to expect different in this playoff season than we saw last, with you kind of going in similar fashion?
Well, I think the changes in our personnel is definitely forcing our hand a little bit different than what we really, really want. I expect that we're going to use that to our advantage the best we can. We are going to play to our strengths that we have and hope everything comes out the way we want it to. You can only control so much.
Chris, how did you stumble upon the SFL, and what's Chris Lee like off the field?
So I actually lived with Winkler, and he and Eagle, when they found the league, they started really diving into it. And because I lived with him, I saw it, and I'm like, you know what? After a while watching it, seeing how much he enjoyed it, I figured, why not join it? See if I like it, and if so, stick with it. And I've loved it so far. And outside of the league, I'm actually a IT for a TV station, a local TV station. So I do keep computers running, set up new computers, but also I've done recently, one of the big things we've done is a digital first streaming computer. So I actually set up an OBS and SDI output cards, input cards, multiple monitors, multiple cameras. My coworker at the time did a lot of the layering for the scenes and such, and I've just recently been building out on it as we've had things that needed to go onto it. But no, just basic IT engineer.
Thank you for working in local media, Chris. That's my background is local media, and it's so important to this country. So thank you for that.
It's not a problem. I love it. I really do.
Chris, what is it like entrusting an ownership group that's brand new? You know, you came into a situation in Los Angeles where, they were kind of trying to rebuild that franchise. And I know that you were drafted by them, but obviously you returned. There's a lot of trust built into that between the players and the leadership. So what have you seen out of there that keeps you loving LA?
Well, outside of just the locker room and the players itself, there's Tom and Ray, their dedication to the league. It is tremendous. Just talking with Tom and how he's worked with getting emulator for people and getting that set up so that people could play around with that. The amount of work he's put into that is tremendous. Ray and her help with the stats, she is extremely helpful for that. Just seeing the way the ownership interacts and how they want to push the SFL forward by using their own time to the best of their abilities to help the league is tremendous, and I have so much respect for that.
Well, Chris, it was great having you here with us. Los Angeles, Charleston should be a great game. And any scouting reports on Charleston? Are you dabbling in any of that yet?
I've dabbled a little bit in it. Unfortunately, my actual knowledge in football in general is a little lacking. So it takes me a bit longer to notice formations and such. But Ryan, Ray, they do a great job at that. So expect to see a fight put up.
Well, the experts are putting you in a great position to succeed. And, we wish you all the best against Charleston this weekend. Thanks for joining us, Chris.
Thank you.
It's a good time with Chris Lee, and it's always great to meet new people in the SFL. But what's interesting is that Sully Richardson has, over the last month, had more opportunities to get Lee the football. Now, that hasn't necessarily resulted in more complete game out of Los Angeles' offense, but Chris Lee's getting plenty of opportunities recently here for the Lycans. It's going to be interesting to see how he matches up against Corey Menard, who's been playing much better football over the last month.
Yeah, that's going to be one of the big matchups of this game today, how the LA receivers match up against this Predator secondary. And as you mentioned, Sully Richardson, he's definitely struggled over the past couple of weeks, but can he get that interception total down and in turn become a more efficient offense that we saw from Los Angeles early in the season? And maybe that'll help them get over the top if we can see that turnover number go down.
What we didn't talk about with Chris is his nickname, Cheese. We really should have probably touched on that, but maybe next time with Chris, as everyone is putting cheeses in the chat now after his great interview. But Mike, all season long we've been breaking down the league by quarters. The first quarter being weeks 1 through 3, then 4 through 6, 7 through 9, and then the fourth quarter of the regular season, weeks 10 through 12. And in each quarter, we've been showing you the top 10 plays from that quarter, and the fourth quarter is no different. We saw some incredible plays, performances, and moments from the last 3 weeks of the regular season. Here is the debut of your top 10 plays from weeks 10 through 12.
Get some points on the board, and that's a good way to get it started. As Jared Willis is off to the races, passes the 50, passes the 30, 20. Can he get there? 10, 5. Jared Willis, touchdown Kings.
Mike, he got shot out of a missile.
He got shot out of a missile, man.
Holy Toledo. Did you see the speed?
He's been saving it all game.
Looks like it's been pent up for weeks. I thought I might have prematurely. It all starts with he broke the tackle, Mike. Good blocking down the field, and then it was just pretty much a straight line. Just trying to angle out 27 there, Ryan Davidson, but no one was going to catch Jared Willis.
Third down here for the Aztecs. Wilson back to throw. Fires deep over the middle. That's caught and headed toward the end zone is Bill Henry looking for his first touchdown. He stopped up just short at the 2.
And that is a tough break. Bill Henry, so exuberant. You'd think he would have gotten into the end zone. And that's just a great catch and run. And that is an Achilles heel of the Fort Worth defense. As good as they are, they will give up some big plays. You see one there. Henry just running right down the hash mark. A straight 9 route. And there's just, I think it was Delaney Nash that might have been trying to play the ball on that. An ill-advised decision there. Henry, if he had some second or third year development, probably would have gotten to that in the end zone.
And if they're looking to run, they may well go to Justin Williams, who's got both Hyena touchdowns today out of nowhere. Nose of the ball is across the magic yellow line. 2nd and inches, Burr will throw on a quick out. Here's Murray out of the backfield. Warren Murray accelerates, hit from behind by Trammell. Second, it's Daniel Daly, one of the other linebackers. Either way, Houston back to the line. Clock running with 10. Murray hasn't got back in position yet. He just now does. They'll snap it with 6. Time running out for Houston. Top of the screen. It's Williams.
Are you kidding?
No, we're not. A hat trick for Justin Williams in his 2nd game in the SFL. 2 rushing touchdowns and a receiving touchdown. And with just seconds left until halftime, Houston extends the lead.
2 in the backfield. One of them is Scott Johnson, who already has the touchdown in this game. Green to throw. Throws right, and that's a catch move. Oh, the ball's on the ground. That's a phenomenal scoop and score. Denver takes the lead. What a turnaround. Huge turnover caused, and all of a sudden, Denver is celebrating 6 points.
So 4 plays, four offensive snaps or something like that, Chris, and 2 turnovers and 3 touchdowns. What? What?
Matt Papineau comes up with the scoop and score in Vegas territory from about the 13-yard line all the way to the house. 7 on the defensive line for Portland. Handoff, Hollywood. Or they'll go Hollywood's direction. Another spin. Broken tackles aplenty. And Green in front of him. Down the sideline to the 2-yard line. He's taken down. And Hollywood just about did it again. 1st and goal for the Swarm.
Oh my goodness, it was the end of the drive that got him going, and now he just catapults his way down the sideline. absolutely fantastic open field running for BDD Hollywood, and they're right back in the red zone.
Right back to where they were at the start.
Low snap. No, it is blocked. Picked up by St. Louis. It's going the other way. That is going to be a Gladiator touchdown. I had a feeling that was coming for the longest time, and Colin Douglas picks up the block and is like, bye-bye.
Yeah, every punt that Louisiana has had, we've seen a Gladiator come close to getting that ball. We've seen so many times, we've heard you say that one was almost blocked, and this time they came through, they get the...
Now they go 4 wide with the tight end split out, stopped over the middle, throws another interception, and this time it's Jack Brown,
That one's going to the house!
More touchdown on the pick 6.
They call this, Colin, the law of averages. You know, whenever there's this many interceptions going on in a game, one of them's bound to go back to the house and get some points, right?
Oh my goodness! Now both the linebackers have an interception, but this time Jack Brown turns around and runs it into the end zone.
Good play on first down.
And the catch by Soto was going to be fumbled, but I think it was intercepted. So even if they call, say it's not a catch, there's a potential for an interception on this play. We'll see if it hits the ground here. I don't think there was time for a football move, but I don't know. Did it hit the ground there, Benji? I can't tell.
I don't think it did. Don't.
Oh, it did. I think he caught it off double bounce.
Still counts.
Green gonna milk every second now into 4 seconds on the play clock. Play action from Green. Gonna take another deep shot. Diving catch, Mason Kirby. What?
Wow. Wow.
Vegas gambling, and they're just hit. They're pulling the handle on the slot machine and just 777s, man. This is just amazing right now.
13. A no huddle. 3 minutes to go. Synergy fires it. It is incomplete. Gill almost one-handed that one. They mark him out of bounds. That may be worth a challenge for the Dragons.
Yeah, you got nothing to lose.
There it is.
Dragons, and there it is. Oh, let's see if he gets the foot down. If he does, it's going to be another remarkable catch here for Josh Gill. Let's check the replay here. This will be a big play for DC.
Oh, he got it.
Oh, that right foot went down. I think we're going to have a catch here. It's going to be, the call's going to be overturned.
Oh, what a catch by Gill.
4:38 to go in the game. Baltimore with 3 wide on second down. Wigmore stepping back, and he's nearly brought down, but it's intercepted, and there's room to run. Nobody in front of him. It's going to go all the way. Now pick 6. Touchdown, London. Emmanuel Blackman blows the game open for the Knights.
That is absolutely huge for this game. London now has broken the lead open a little bit more with an amazing Emmanuel Blackman read that we knew that Mac Chima was the big receiver so far in this game for Baltimore. They decided to go Chima's way again. Blackman was ready. He got the interception, and he had plenty of space to run for the pick 6. And now up 9. They've potentially up 10 up to this point if they can get the extra point.
Man, it was awesome. Top 10 plays for this week. London takes the #1 spot with Blackman shutting the door on Baltimore. Any favorites out of that list outside of one, Mike?
Well, Cam, I'll definitely take that London one as #1. I wasn't involved, but I'll take it being a teammate. I'll definitely take that. But what did stand out to me was that a couple of these plays that were made by players that we're going to see here a little bit later on. Jack Brown, big interception, pick 6, first of his career for Charleston. We're going to see a lot of him here in a few minutes. And Freeman Peltier and Colin Douglas combining on that block punt and pick up fumble pick 6 on that one. We're going to see those guys perform later against Vancouver. Those really stood out to me.
Coming up at the half, we'll have the top 10 plays from the entire season. Mike, which plays had staying power? We'll take a look at 10 through 1 and find out who takes the crown. Any early predictions, Mike, from all the top 10s from this season? Can you remember a play where you were just like, no way?
I'll take a performance. The Ben Callier touchdown first half, that really stood out to me all season long.
All right, we'll find out what gets number one for the whole season coming up at the half of Los Angeles and Charleston. When we come back, we'll take a deeper dive into the Los Angeles Lycans and the Charleston Predators preview here on Sim Football Pregame as we count you down to kickoff 14 till here on Sim Football Pregame. We will be right back after this. As we begin our final descent here to kickoff out at Fort Moultrie Memorial Stadium in Charleston, we are Sim Football Pregame. Mike St. Green, Cameron Irvine here at SFL Studios. And Mike, Los Angeles and Charleston has the lowest point spread of any of the four wildcard games this week. Charleston only favored by 3.5. This should be quite a doozy.
Yeah, Cam, and rightfully so. These teams are almost perfect mirror images of one another, all the way down from the QB spot all the way over to defensive line, secondary linebackers. These teams are very, very comparable. As we can start with LA with that great secondary over there, Rochelle Colston, Ryan Joseph leading the way over there for those guys. Rochelle, 11 interceptions on the season. But Cam, she also has 109 tackles, so she likes to stick her nose in there, get involved in their defense. Ryan Joseph with 9 interceptions of his own. Then you go over to the Charleston secondary. Zach Lay, 9 interceptions, leads that team. Corey Menor, one of the better cornerbacks in this league, 7 interceptions of his own. Had a big interception a couple of weeks ago to seal a victory over Carolina. And then let's talk about the offenses a little bit. Both quarterbacks, neither one of them, you're going to see it light, see them light up the scoreboard, too much at all. They turn it over a lot, Cam, 26 interceptions for Sully Richardson, but 10 of those have been in the past 2 weeks. 30 interceptions on the season for TD Drew. So we're not going to see these guys light it up, but when they do go to the air and want to get some performance, you're going to see Chris Lee for Los Angeles and Buchanan Simons for Charleston. And Cam, look at these numbers from Lee and Buchanan. Both have 59 receptions. Both have 5 touchdown catches on the season. So these teams are about as mirror image as you can get. And I can't wait to see this matchup, man. It's going to be rough and tumble and 3 yards in a cloud of dust, and it's going to be fun to watch.
What's crazy, Mike, is the only thing separating these two teams, right? They're 9-8. They had the same record, 7-5 this season. The only thing separating them was a 1-game difference in common games. Charleston had a 4-1 record in common games. Los Angeles had 3-2 record, and that second loss that did LA in on the Common Games tiebreaker was the Week 12 loss to San Diego. Charleston beat San Diego. Los Angeles did not. And that's why LA is playing this game on the road. That's how razor thin these two were in the regular season.
Yeah, razor thin from that one San Diego game, as you mentioned, but it also was huge, and I know the Lycans are still kicking themselves from losing that game because it basically cost them the division title and possibly and definitely playing a home game in the first round, and now they have to travel all the way across country to play on the road. But in general, these teams are separated, as you mentioned, by very, very little. And it's going to be a great matchup. What's going to be the difference in this matchup? I'm not sure. It's going to come down to protecting the ball, of course. But can these defensive lines, can they get involved? And maybe in LA, I think has a slight advantage there with Brogan, Spearaw, and Moore Rivers. They both defensive end have been doing a great job putting pressure on the quarterback over the past couple of weeks. They both have 5 sacks each. And maybe that defensive line for LA could be the difference in putting pressure on TD Drew in passing situations if Charleston gets in a third and long, second and long type situations.
Talk about putting a player in the right positions to succeed. Moore Rivers has missed a lot of practice time this year, and LA has still gotten great production out of Moore Rivers this season, and he's actually had quite the season. Every week, I feel like we're sitting here watching an LA game, and you go, is that Moore Rivers again?
Yeah, but look, Cam, former #1 overall pick, but hey, he says, man, I don't need any practice. I'll just show up for game day and perform, and he's really done a great job here over the past few weeks for that LA defense.
That's one way to do it. Not many people can get away with it, but apparently Moore Rivers can. Here is a further breakdown of the matchup, and you got to highlight the defenses. Top 7 in the league in points per game allowed. I think what's interesting here is Charleston is really good against the pass. Los Angeles is really good against the run. That probably favors who, Mike? It's hard to say.
Yeah, it's really hard to say. The passing game maybe it favors Charleston a little bit. Buchanan Simons, we always call his name on big passing plays, and when he's not getting involved, we see a little bit of Ken McCarroll. But if you're going to see a big play downfield, you're going to see Lyric Da Vinci, the big tight end, streaking down on a 9 route and making big plays in this offense as well. So passing wise, I give a slight edge to Charleston. The more balanced offense and balanced attack, I give that to LA because they can do it a number of different ways. We can see Jack Flash, we can see Chris Lee, we can see Davius Reed, and the main thing with them, pounding that rock 5 yards at a time with Robert Johnson. If they can get him going and putting him in second and third and short, we can see that LA short passing game and running game take over and control the clock in this game.
Charleston below average in rushing touchdowns allowed. So if Robert Johnson could get going, that could be big. And, TD Drew's had a few games this season where he has gotten real interception happy. That Carolina game sticks out where they used a Jack Brown pick 6 to save them in a 13-6 ball game. But LA is third in the league in turnover differential, was near an SFL record, which Queen City actually claimed at plus 21 over the course of this season. TD Drew's going to have to take real good care of the football if they want to have a chance to win in this ball game. Let's take one more look before we get it out to the field at what the playoff bracket looks like after today. So the winner of Los Angeles and Charleston is going to go to Atlanta. That is a confirmed matchup. The winner of this game will go to Atlanta, and that game will be on the SFL Network Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern next weekend. Now, if St. Louis wins, they will go to Baltimore. That is a Sunday 3 o'clock kick next week right here on FTF. And if Vancouver wins, then Vancouver would go to Mexico City. Vegas would go to Baltimore. The Vegas-Baltimore game would be Sunday at 3. The Vancouver-Mexico City game would be on Next Level Sports on Saturday. So when you think about where all of these teams could fall, Mike, what matchup maybe would you be most interested in or most compelling for the quarterfinals in your mind?
Well, hey, you just won a playoff game. Your prize is going to Atlanta, Baltimore, or Mexico City. Yeah, thanks. But yeah, I wouldn't consider either one of those a prize. But you're still in it. You're still able to compete. But really, one of the more compelling of those three scenarios that you mentioned would be Vancouver traveling down to Mexico City. That would be a very interesting matchup in contrast and styles. Could then Mexico City secondary shut down that passing game of Vancouver, and man, that balanced attack from Mexico City going up against a very underrated Vancouver defense. That would be a great matchup down there. International matchup, Cam.
Yeah, and Arizona, well, and remember, too, Vancouver, Mexico City, that's a rematch of was Cade Stevens Inbounds Season 9 semifinal. Mexico City actually went on to win their only title, so that would be a huge game. Arizona either gets Mighty and Florida or Ramos and Mexico City, and Eddie has talked ad nauseum about how both teams are the toughest to prepare for in the league, and so I know that he's sweating bullets over how that bracket fell for him just simply by Las Vegas pulling that upset and either going to Baltimore or Florida and kind of shifting the bracket up. So it's going to be interesting to see how it falls. But again, the winner of today's Los Angeles-Charleston game will go to Atlanta, and you can see that game on the SFL network next Saturday at 4 Eastern. That's where the playoffs stand right now, and in a couple of minutes' time, we'll get you out to Chris Curtis and Aaron Alexander from Moultrie Memorial Stadium in Charleston, South Carolina, where the SFL playoffs will continue. This has been Sim Football Pregame presented by APM Music. Mike St. Green and I will be back at halftime. We'll see you then. Enjoy the game.
For the fans, welcomes you to the following presentation of the Simulation Football League.
Two tickets have been punched to the quarterfinals of the Season 17 SFL playoffs, and two more to get punched today. We're outside Fort Moultrie Memorial Stadium in Charleston, South Carolina, the site of the third of four wildcard matchups between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Charleston Predators. Chris Curtis, Aaron Alexander in the broadcast booth, and Aaron, 2 7-5 teams, two even Steven teams across the board, just about to do battle for a chance to move on. Winner moves on, loser goes home in Charleston.
Yeah, you've absolutely got the right of it. Both of these teams similar as records go, but as far as team makeup, couldn't be further apart. Charleston being one of the best passing defenses in the league this season, while LA has dominated more on the rushing side. But I think the key here is going to be the turnover differential between the Lycans and Charleston. Charleston with only a +1 to their name, LA with a +12 going into this game.
So the key for Charleston, obviously, then to take care of the football and not give the Lycans any more opportunities than they would have normally. Do you agree?
Absolutely got to agree with you.
All right, we're just about set for football here in Charleston. FTF, the home of the SFL playoffs, along with the rest of the SFL family of networks. It's the first of two matchups today, as Vancouver and St. Louis do battle a little bit later. But right now, it's the winner of this game moving on to face Atlanta in 1 week's time. A date in the quarterfinals with the Swarm at the Hive at stake in this matchup. LA is going to receive the football to start. It's Charleston in the black and LA in the white as we are set for football. Things about to get underway in Charleston, South Carolina. We're ready. Hopefully you guys are ready as well. Kickup is in the air and on the way, and we are a go for the third of four wild card matchups. It's returned from the 3-yard line out to the 15 to the 20, out to about the 23-yard line, and that is where this first drive will get going. That brings out Sully Richardson, quarterback for the LA Lycans, 7-5 record. They were a San Diego loss away from a Pacific Division title. Robert Johnson, his main flank mate, along with Tommy Rahman, the fullback for LA. First and 10, immediately showing a 4-wide set, 3 to the right, 1 to the left. 4 on the defensive side of the football for Charleston. Looking to throw. Throw is right side, tipped, and intercepted. Back the other way. That thing was tipped twice by the same man and eventually picked up and out of the air. What an interception by Johnny Bravo. The cornerback comes up to make the play.
Yeah, just an absolutely great way to stick with this ball by Johnny Bravo. I didn't get a good look at who made the tip, but definitely not the first play you wanted if your LA is going to set up Charleston with excellent field position to start their first drive.
Charleston in a real good spot to potentially get the first points on the board. They start from the LA 20. Offset I formation for him. Swearingen's your deep back in the offset I. Looking to throw it. Left-hander is going to throw right. That's going to be complete to the fullback. Spin move, and he gets past one. It'll get him out to about a 5-yard gain to the 15. And good work from Charleston on first down. Terrell Sutherland, first catch of the game.
Yeah, the second round, 7th pick in this past draft, making his presence known. He's been used relatively well by this Charleston team. So look for him to get some touches here.
J.D. Drew is under center. He'll hand off to Swearingen here in LA's all over him. Make him lose 2. Rest of the battery mates for Charleston: Ken McCarroll, Buchanan Simons, and Jay Taylor, your trio of wide receivers, with Lyric Da Vinci holding out the spot at tight end for the Charleston offense. Big third down coming up here, 3rd and 7. LA would consider it a win to hold them to 3 points here. Charleston in a good spot to do damage. 3 to the left, 1 to the right. Drew's in the gun. Swearingen to his left, has the football, looks to throw it, throws, back of the end zone, that's picked off, and LA turns the ball over gets the ball themselves on an interception. They trade it back, and it's like it never even happened. They'll go back to the 20 and start things out again.
Yeah, Ryan Yosef just in the right place at the right time to make that interception. A great coverage call by this defensive staff out in LA, and just like that, the Johnny Bravo interception is nullified with no points on the board because of that turnover.
Crazy turn of events here. 2 to the right, 1 to the left. As back onto the field comes Sully Richardson. In the gun, has the football, looks to throw, put it in the hands of Robert Johnson. He'll bust his way through one, then get hit like a truck after only a 5-yard gain. Rest of the battery mates for the LA Lycans: Davius Reed, Chris Lee, or Cheese as he's known, are your wide receiver duo. Elsie Pryor and Jack Flash, the tight ends for the LA Lycans. We've already talked about Robert Johnson and Tommy Rahman. They've done good work all season long. See where they go on second down. Looking to throw it. Richardson throws deep right side. That one's caught just past midfield. LA with their first big strike of the day, and that is deep down the right-hand side for Chris Lee.
Yeah, Chris Lee making it look cheesy, as some would say. And honestly, just great patience by Sully Richardson. Is able to get the throw off with the pocket collapsing around him. A great second play for this LA offense.
I'm going to call him Pepper Jack. That was a little bit spicy, not going to lie. This will be a chance over the middle for Richardson. That's caught. First down and a couple more, getting him out to the 37-yard line in Charleston territory. More good work for this offense. As Rahman gets the catch, he'll bring it forward on the fullback run or pass at the middle.
Yeah, this is honestly a excellent start to the second drive by LA. A big correction from the mistake on the first play earlier. And LA is going to look to capitalize on the Ryan Yosef interception.
This will be a handoff through the middle. That's going to be a nice run up that middle. 6-yard gain for Robert Johnson as he'll get his way forward. More good work for him on offense. 2nd and 4.
Yeah, more good work by the man they call the bowling ball, Robert Johnson. Plus, great blocking from this offensive line as well.
Looking to throw. Deep left side. That one's intercepted. 3 drives, 3 interceptions, 2 for Charleston as they turn the ball over again. As 1st and 10, Charleston gets the football and Richardson hits the turf hard. Corey Minner coming up with the play.
Yeah, honestly, this was just a really easy pick for Corey Menner to make. Sully Richardson just didn't put enough speed under that ball, just kind of floated it up there for his intended target. And Corey Menner's just like, oh, hey, that's mine. Thank you. Have a nice day.
So correction from earlier in the broadcast on the pregame primer. If either of these teams win, the winner's either going to go to Florida or Atlanta. It depends on what happens in the Vancouver-St. Louis game this afternoon. St. Louis wins, they go to Atlanta. If Vancouver wins, then they go to Florida. A little bit of an update put into the chat by SFL Commissioner Cameron Irvine. Thank you very much for the clarification there. But it is a 3-yard loss on the first play from scrimmage of this drive for Charleston as they try to move the ball into plus territory. 3 drives so far, 2 by Charleston, or 2 by LA, 1 by Charleston, and all 3 have ended up in interceptions to this point. TD Drew to the right side. That's put Swearingen in the open field. Spins past one, but he can't get past him. Good shoulder tackle, bringing him down after just a couple yards gained. Make it a long 3rd down coming up for Charleston.
Yeah, long 3rd down indeed, which means that this Charleston defense may try and take a risk and go down deep, which admittedly with Ryan Yosef and Rochelle Colston in the defensive backfield, I wouldn't exactly recommend.
3 to the right, 1 to the left. TD Drew over the middle, looking for the seam, didn't find it. That one's going to get hit down to the turf. Yosef time again over the middle of the field, as you alluded to. 4th down, Charleston will punt.
Yeah, just some great awareness again by this LA Lycans defense, set up by that big loss on the 1st down run by Ma Rivers. And Charleston's going to be forced to punt this ball away after the interception by Corey Menner.
Good stuff from LA defensively to really roll with the punches a bit, and it'll give a chance for LA to come back out onto the field. Look at that, a drive that doesn't end in a turnover, but nearly one that ended in a blocked punt. Fair catch called for at about the 33-yard line. 32 is where they'll mark it, and LA will start this drive from there. And Sully Richardson trying to redeem himself after a couple of interceptions. One arguably may not have been his fault on the tip, but the other one absolutely was. Found the men wearing black shirts instead of the ones wearing white. And he'll be looking for a bit of redemption at the start of this drive. It'll be him in the backfield, or him under center, I should say, with Johnson in the backfield. Linebacking core moves around along with the defensive line for Charleston. Richardson to throw, right side, and that one's nearly intercepted as well. Looking again for Chris Lee. Johnny Bravo gets his hands on it to knock it to the turf.
Yeah, another really risky pass going the way of Chris Lee. Johnny Bravo, though, just tight on him in coverage. And Sully Richardson is breathing a sigh of relief as that one gets knocked to the dirt.
7 in the box defensively. They're expecting a bowling ball here on 2nd down. See if that's what they get. They move back into coverage a little bit. They will get a bowling ball run for Robert Johnson. He'll get his way forward and about 3 yards on it, making it a decent 3rd and 7 coming up here for LA, and a key 3rd down coming up here for Charleston's defense.
Yeah, absolutely. This could be the 2nd straight drive that we've seen end in a punt here. Of course, Sully Richardson, the rest of this LA offense, going to do everything in their power to try to avoid that.
First 3rd down of the game for LA. Play action. Richardson moves up in the pocket. He's going to get taken down. They're going to say an incomplete pass. Lally had him first to bring him down, and it's going to be 4th and 7. Punt up coming for LA.
Yeah, unfortunately, that play not really able to develop. The pressure from John Lawley a little too much for this LA offensive line and Sully Richardson. And despite a fast-paced start to this game, LA is going to be forced to punt it away again for the 2nd straight drive.
You say fast-paced, it has been that, but it's been much to do about nothing. No points on the board as of yet for either side. This will be returnable to about the 37-yard line. That's where they will start this next, the 27-yard line. That's where they'll start this next drive. Charleston back out onto the field. TD Drew and company trying to find something that works, as is LA. On offense, it's been a field position battle to this point in the game. Neither one being able to scratch the itch and get points on the board.
Yeah, it's been very, very back and forth defensively, which admittedly in a matchup like this with 2 very dynamic defenses is something you would expect.
I formation. Deep back on that is going to be Swearingen. Hand off to him. He's going to work his way through the middle, get himself about 4 yards. They'll say 5 generously. It'll be a 2nd and 5 coming up.
Yeah, and speaking of defenses, a perhaps underrated part to this LA defense is their defensive line. Both defensive ends specifically are incredibly young. Brogan Spirock coming in this past season's draft. Ace Blackwell signed earlier this season, but they've been great for this LA defense.
Swearingen with a spin move. Can't spin twice, though. He'll get down to about the 33-yard line. 3rd and 4 coming up. This will be Charleston's this will be their third down attempt. They're 0 for 2 so far. The battle on 3rd down seems to be pretty big, at least so far early in this contest. Trying to get something done. 2 to the left. I formation. Could they really go to Swearingen here on 3rd down? No. Left side. That one's caught. 1st down and more. Down the left sideline. How about it? That's a big time running after the catch. Down to the 35-yard line. What a play for Charleston down that left side to get him a 1st down.
Yeah, that's just a great route by Ken McCarrow. Just a nice step to get out of the coverage range of the LA defender and just tons of room downfield in order to get the additional yards needed. And Charleston finally picks up the first 3rd down conversion of the game.
Ken McCarrow, he's been in this league a long time, wearing a lot of, not necessarily a lot, but a decent bit of different uniforms as they get themselves into plus territory. They're right on the precipice of field goal range for Brichette. This is going to be a run to the left. That's going to be a stop as Swearingen gets taken down. Linebacking core jumps up to make the play. That's good work. It'll be 2nd and 13.
Yeah, that was actually the defensive end Brogan Spiro I was just talking about earlier, the rookie out of Lexington, making his presence known with a big TFL there on the run by Keith Swearingen.
Swearingen's the deep back on this I formation play. Defensive line moves left to right. Hand off Swearingen. Got a hold to run through. Going to try to work to the 2nd level. Keeps on his feet and finally gets taken down at about the 34-yard line, making it about a 3rd and 8 coming up.
Yeah, another long 3rd down situation here for Charleston. This LA defense doing what they do best, absolutely stuffing the run. Swearingen unofficially 1 yard on 5 attempts so far this game.
In the gun is TD Drew. 3 to the left, 1 to the right. That one to the right, Buchanan Simon. They look his direction. That one's going to be caught, but not enough to it as he gets taken out of bounds, or he puts himself out of bounds. 4th and 9. Actually, they're going to say it's incomplete, so it doesn't matter much anyway. And wondering if they're going to challenge us to make the field goal a little bit easier, but it looked like he had at least a foot in bounds.
Yeah, it definitely looked like it. I don't think this early on we'll see that challenge flag, though. Charleston trusting the boot of Brad Bretchett to make this kick from about 44 yards, I believe.
From here, it'll be about a 51-yarder, actually, 17 plus. So 34 or 30 from the 34-yard line, then a high snap. Kick from Brichette is up, and it is going to be through. We could have made it from probably 53. Either way, it's up and good, and Charleston has the first points on the board. It's a 3-0 contest.
Yeah, definitely cutting it a little close on that kick there, but I definitely have to agree with Charleston's decision to put it to the foot of Brad Bretchett, who's been pretty consistent so far this season as he gets it done there for Charleston.
Kick is going to be up and on the way very quickly, as LA will return this one from about the 3-yard line. Returnable on the left hash, going to keep it going right along that left hash into the group, and that is going to be a takedown to end that return before it gets going. But good work from the Predators to be able to get 3 points out of that. A good drive gets them their first strike of this football game and starts to put LA in a bit of a sense of urgency, knowing, hey, you know what, we got to score to be able to keep up with these guys. But Charleston caps off a 7-play, 41-yard drive with the field goal. Two to the left. Looking to throw it. Richardson deep over the middle. That one's tipped, and another one that nearly ended up in the hands of the black shirts. That is nearly intercepted. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, definitely don't agree with the risk to go deep there. It is still only the first quarter. LA has time to try and make something happen in order to get points back on the board. I think we should see more of Robert Johnson and Tom Rompman Jr., the fullback, get involved in order to start moving this ball down the field for LA.
Two to the left. Handoff for Robert Johnson. He's going to get taken down at the line of scrimmage. 3rd and long coming up. They have yet to see a 3rd down conversion in this game. They're 0 for 1. They'll get another chance here on 3rd and 11.
Yeah, a much needed second chance, third chance, really. Unfortunately, I see this one going deep again. And for Sully Richardson and the Lycans, this may not go in their favor.
The middle of the field has been absolutely clogged by the Charleston defense so far. We'll see if that's where they go. Right side, deep. You called it. They went deep, but they couldn't bring it in. And that one hit 2 Predators on the way to the ground. Incomplete again. And another punt coming up here for LA.
Yeah, and credit to Johnny Bravo. He's just been absolutely glued to Chris Lee for the entirety of this game so far, as LA is going to be forced to put it to the boot of Chance to win. Their rookie punter also out of Lexington to try and pin Charleston a bit deeper into their own territory.
And they will get that chance here. Chance to win puts it deep into Charleston territory. Decent return, but not much to it. No fair catch called for, and it'll be at the 33-yard line. You called out Johnny Bravo being all over Chris Lee. Chris Lee has already proven today, though, that he's needed to have somebody all over him. Otherwise, he's going to burn this Charleston defense. 32 yards on just 1 catch, and that was on the 2nd drive of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. The one catch that Chris Lee has so far went deep for 32 yards. But besides that, Johnny Bravo has allowed him absolutely nothing else.
That's going to be over the middle, and that hit a Lycan on the way to the ground as well. Linebacking core making the play. 2nd and 10 as TD Drew hits the turf on that throw.
Yeah, some great patience there by TD Drew. The pocket was kind of collapsing around him, able to step up and try and make a pass, though. This linebacking core of LA, though, having nothing for it. Swatting that down.
Good looking formation for a run here if they want to go Swearingen's direction on a 2nd and 10. They will try to make 3rd down a little bit better. And he will get forward just 2 yards, make it 3rd and 8 along the right hash. Another 3rd down attempt coming up here for Charleston.
Yeah, this LA defense still doing what they do best at stopping the run. And the way things go, I think that Charleston's play calling is going to have to go more to the hand of TD Drew.
2 to the right, 2 to the left. TD Drew over the middle. Got to try to turn and run. He can't do it. Going to be short of the 1st down marker once more. Nothing much more than that. 4th and 3 and Charleston's going to have to think about punting this away shy of their own 40.
Yeah, we could see them try to go for it. They may also try the hard count to get LA to jump off sides, being this is a younger defensive line, but it looks like they're going to put this to the boot of their punter here.
Punt upcoming. 4th and 3. Low snap. That's put up into the air and over all the way down to about the 23-yard line. And not much on the return either, as they'll get taken down at the 23. So LA starts the next drive out. It's been punts and interceptions with 1 field goal among the entire offense for both of these rosters so far. Nothing much going on the offensive side of the ball. The over-under's got to be shaking in their boots if they went the over in this game, but the defenses look real good for both sides.
Yeah, absolutely. We knew this was going to be a defensive game going into it, and it just continues to prove that to be the case.
Oh, a seam pass left side, trying to find the hole between the corner and the safety. Solely can't find it. That ball's going to hit the turf on a diving attempt. It'll be 2nd down.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with the decision, though, to try and find some different avenues for Sully Richardson to get the ball into the hands of receivers. Unfortunately, that one doesn't quite go his way as the corner, Corey Menard, there, able to get the deflection.
3 to the right, 1 to the left. Defensive line has 4. Richardson moves up in the pocket, throws over the middle. That one should have been intercepted as well. Chris Lee, your intended target. Nothing doing the secondary again, making plays for Charleston. 3rd and long coming up.
Yeah, I definitely think that one was more on Sully Richardson feeling the pressure of the defensive line there. Just trying to get the ball out of his hands. He sees his favorite target, Chris Lee, downfield. Unfortunately, Zach Lay, the strong safety, is there to deny Chris Lee his 2nd reception of the game.
3rd and long once more. LA trying to find a 3rd down conversion, and the Charleston crowd getting loud, trying to will their team to a date in the southeast corner of this country. Richardson throws right side. That one's intercepted. A 3rd interception in the 1st quarter for Sully Richardson, and LA turns the ball over again, as it'll be Johnny Bravo, his 2nd pick of the game.
Yeah, and you know, Chris Lee's doing what he can to try and get the routes in order to break through this this secondary. Unfortunately, Johnny Bravo is just stuck to Chris Lee like white on rice.
Just over a minute left in this 1st quarter. Charleston in a good spot to potentially put some points on the board. Offset I formation. Handoff Swearingen. You're going to try to find a hole in the off tackle. He's going to have a hole for 5 yards. 2nd and 5 coming up as we get to the last minute of this 1st quarter.
Yeah, you see the stat there. Swearingen, 8 carries, only 10 yards so far this game, which, of course, is credit to the defensive line and linebacking core for this LA Lycans defense. And as we'll continue to mention, it's something they've been good at dealing with all season.
High formation. Handoff. Swearingen again trying to get through the off tackle. He's not going to get very far. Make it 3rd and 4 coming up. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Charleston trying to get their 2nd, 3rd down conversion of this 1st quarter. Looking to throw it over the middle. That one's jumped and nearly intercepted back the other way. Nothing doing. 4th down again. And another field goal attempt coming up for Brechet, as he will be back out onto the field for what looks like a 44-yarder from this spot on the right hash.
Yeah, and honestly, that was just a great jump on that ball by Danny Stinson, the inside linebacker playing the middle of the field mid-range there. Gets a great jump on that ball in order to bat it down to force this field goal.
Chance for Brechet. He made one from 51 a little while ago. We'll see how he does here. Snap is good. Hold good. Kick up and on the way. It is up. And it is through. So 2 field goals are the entire scoring output of what looks like to end this 1st quarter of play, as it's Brechet who accounts for the only 6 points we've seen in this wild card matchup so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a part of it has been on the turnovers by LA. Sully Richardson, 3 interceptions so far, 2 to Johnny Bravo, 1 to Corey Menner. And it's just been, it's a boxing match is what I'll equate it to. It's just been a slugfest between these two defenses.
I mean, LA's defense got to be looking at the offense on that sideline going, y'all going to play too? That's what it basically comes to right now. 1st and 10 coming up here. And that it will be a new set of downs for LA after the kickoff. But that is going to bring us to the end of the first frame. It's a 6-0 game in Charleston. It's the Wild Card Playoffs, SFL Season 17, presented by APM Music on For the Fans. Stay right there. Back in Charleston, South Carolina, at the Fort Moultrie Memorial Stadium in Charleston. Chris Curtis and Arian Alexander in the broadcast booth with you. Declan O'Rourke and Justin reside on stats for us today, as it'll be Sully Richardson now moving right to left, and that is a first down completion over the middle of the field. That'll give him a little bit of confidence. That is Chris Lee over the middle instead of on the side, and that is going to be a 1st and 10.
Yeah, Sully Richardson and this LA team after the first quarter decide a change of pace is in order as they decide to go medium over the middle to Chris Lee instead of having him run that fade route on the outside. This time it works well as Chris Lee picks up reception number 2 on the game for the Lycans.
Winner moves on to the quarterfinals. Loser goes home and is done for the season. That is what it's at stake in this playoff matchup. 3rd of 4 wildcard matchups on the SFL family of networks is in front of you right now. Handoff. Oh, Robert Johnson, the bowling ball, has some room in front of him. Down the left sideline. He's going to get chased down by a Predator, and that is a takedown at the 17-yard line where Robert Johnson has LA in a great scoring field position.
Yeah, as you see the truck move there on poor Josh Reese, as Robert Johnson just has an open lane down the field. It takes Johnny Bravo coming from the other end of the field to make that tackle and prevent the touchdown. And this is what I need to see more of from LA. They need to get Robert Johnson the ball more.
Your sentiments are echoed by everybody that is cheering for LA. More Robert Johnson, please. They will give it to him on the right side here. Has some hesitation around the edge to the 5, to the 3-yard line. He's going to get taken down at the 4, actually. Robert Johnson has the Lycans' 1st and goal in the red zone for the first time today.
Yeah, unfortunately, that lineman there not able to make the block on Josh Reese, but Robert Johnson on the off-tackle run, just tons of room again. Charleston, I think, just caught a bit off guard by these runs now by Robert Johnson and the Lycans offense.
3 in the backfield. Looking to try to finish this drive off with 6 points. Looks to hand it off. Robert Johnson through the middle, and he's in. That's a touchdown for the Lycans, and they have a chance on the extra point to take the lead.
And finally, LA strikes, and it's none other than their bowling ball, Robert Johnson. 3 straight plays, 3 straight runs, and LA finally finds pay dirt and has an opportunity to take the lead here by the boot of Rob Ems.
Rob Ems coming out for his first extra point attempt. First time you've seen him on the field in this game. Statistically, a very good kicker, has been all season long. We'll see what he can do to put his team in the lead. That speaks volumes to the LA defense. The Charleston Predators only ended up getting 6 points off of those turnovers that the Lycans had earlier in this game. That kick is up and through, and the Lycans do indeed take that lead. It is 7-6 in Charleston.
Yeah, LA taking a finally taking lead and swinging the momentum much needed in their favor, considering that first quarter, Sully Richardson with those 3 interceptions. But I think now LA's going to turn to Robert Johnson in the run game to try and open this game up for them.
The 3-yard line, returnable. From about the 20 to the 23-yard line, taken down at the 24, and that's where the Predators will start this next drive. You can join in the conversation at twitch.tv/FTF Next. Got plenty in here. Siege Falco, Mighty Joe Young, Alien Nation, Swole, Hike on Earth. It is the GK Khan. I see Ray in there as well. There's a whole lot of personalities, owners, players, coaches, everybody in the FTF Next chat at the moment. Looks like Atlanta is fully represented as they take on potentially the winner of this game, depending on how that game goes later. That's going to be a pop-up and an interception off the deflected pass off the defensive line, and TD Drew has thrown his second pick of the game. However, the Plinko ball is what caused that. Thomas Rahman Jr. coming down with it.
Yeah, and that was actually Brogan Spiro, the rookie defensive end, with the tip pass there. And, just good football IQ by pretty much all of this LA Lycans defense in order to, scout where the ball was. And Thomas Rahman Jr., is the one that takes it down. And LA finds themselves with the ball again in great field position.
Robert Johnson, your deep back. They may go his direction in the flats, and they will. Get it out to the 30-yard line. He's taken down at the 29 after a massive hit. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Yeah, it's Jack Brown with the hit there. He's been relatively quiet so far in this game for this Charleston defense. But LA, I think it's smart they're going to Robert Johnson in the flats, like you mentioned. I want to see a bit more of that, maybe a couple wheel routes as well.
In the gun. Richardson moves right to the throw of the middle. That one's nearly intercepted again, as that one will hit the ground. 3rd and 8. Now, thinking back to that interception, man, talking about this play made by Spiro, he had to watch this ball get up probably 15 feet in the air before it starts coming down, and he's got to be able to be in the right spot and also keep an eye on everybody coming around it, because everybody wants their hands on that football. What an awareness play by Brogan Spiro to bring that one down and give his team a really good chance.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to agree with you on that one. The awareness there in order to get his hands on that ball was fantastic.
That's going to be a Sully Richardson throw that's tipped and incomplete. And it looks like they're going to hold LA to a field goal attempt here from the 29-yard line. It'll make that a 46-yarder for Rob Ems in the left hash.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I don't particularly like some of these throws that Sully Richardson's making. He keeps trying to force the ball into these really, really minute gaps, and the Predators defense has just closed down all of those opportunities as soon as they are open.
Snap good, hold good, kick up and on the way. It's up and it is through to give the Lycans a 4-point lead, and that'll give Charleston back the football here in a moment. You said you don't like the throws. I don't like the fact that he's throwing as much as he is, to be fair. You just had Robert Johnson give you that touchdown, and then you don't go his direction at all off a big turnover to try to continue that momentum and take advantage of what was working. Just keep doing it until they stop you, I would think. But good stuff from LA to at least get some points out of it and give themselves a 4-point advantage.
Yeah, and credit to Charleston's defense for keeping LA out of the end zone this time. But you've definitely got the right of it. I think the key to success here for LA is going to be to keep handing the ball to Robert Johnson. Don't fix what isn't broken, right?
Exactly. I 100% agree. That'll get up to the 22-yard line. That's where TD Drew and company will start this next drive. And the turns have definitely tabled. The Predators now find themselves down 4 points when they ended this quarter up 6. Crazy how fast things change in a football game in the SFL. This will be an I formation. Tight offensive set. Drew to throw over the middle. Has a quick inside slant. That's a catch and near a first down, but not quite enough on it. And that'll be 2nd and 1 coming up.
Yeah, the tight end there, Lyric Da Vinci, getting their name called for the first time with a great catch there off of the short drop back from TD Drew. And a bit of pressure again coming from this front set of the LA Lycans, forcing TD Drew to throw that ball a bit quicker than he might have liked.
That's going to be a handoff through the middle. Swearingen has a first down and a few more as you'll get out to the 36-yard line. Charleston doing what they can to move the football. It's taking them a little bit of time to get the offense going, but better than trying to chuck it downfield and get it intercepted.
Yeah, and Swearingen has been relatively contained so far in this game, but I think it's smart going to him on a 2nd and 1 there because you can count on him to reliably at least get a yard or two on these runs.
And off Swearingen, going to try to get 1 or 2 here, and he will. He gets exactly 1, 2nd and 9 coming up. Are you a next-level SFL fan? Visit the SFL League website at simulationfl.net for info on how to create a player and to join our community. Check out League Leaders. We've got stats from all 17 seasons of SFL action and track game, season, and career numbers of all the players over time who have gone from couch to field. The Simulation Football League, 17 seasons strong. I formation again. Charleston in the offensive tight set. That'll be a nice hole for Swearingen to run through, and that'll be a 4-yard gain. Not much to it, but a manageable 3rd down coming up 3rd and 5.
Yeah, and I think here's where they're going to try. They could stick to that I formation and go out to Sutherland in the flats. They could hit Swearingen on a wheel route. We may see another pass to Da Vinci here on 3rd and 5.
It'll be a chance to the left-hand side. Gonna try to move it upfield. Not going to happen. Some poor footwork there after the catch is going to stop the fullback Sutherland from getting to the first down marker, and it'll be a decision time here for Charleston, likely a punt upcoming 4th and 3.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they decide to punt this ball away, but a key stat that we saw a bit earlier on, thanks to the production team there, Buchanan Simons currently has no catches, which is a bit uncharacteristic of this Predators team, but perhaps a step in a good direction. We'll have to see how the rest of this game goes, though.
They have worked him in once on a target. They did go his direction. He just caught it out of bounds in the first quarter. But yeah, you're right. Nothing since then. 1st and 10 for the Lycans as they have the ball back from their own 23-yard line. And don't look now, but the Lycans have a chance to put some separation between them and the Predators at this point. Richardson is under center, 1 to the backfield, 2 to the left in the tight offensive set. Do they go Johnson's direction? They do. Keep it on the right-hand side. Works his way through the hole. Has to try to juke past his own blocker, and it doesn't get very far. Make it a 1-yard gain up the middle, and that is a 2nd and 9.
It was a lot of work to gain 1 yard, but that 1 yard could be the catalyst for Robert Johnson to start getting things going, as we see Jack Brown pick up tackle number 3 there.
Under center. 3 to the left, 1 to the right. Handoff through the middle. That's going to be a Rojo run again. This time goes absolutely nowhere. 3rd and 9 coming up. The SFL Network on Twitch takes you to Atlanta next weekend, where the winner of this game will either face Atlanta or Florida. But Atlanta will be the site where Twitch is at next week. It's going to be a game that starts at 4 p.m. Eastern, Saturday, October 23rd. So mark your calendars for that in 6 days' time. We are in the second quarter of this one. This is going to be that's going to be a takedown. And it's a first sack of the game as Richardson's going to hit the turf. Charleston's defense stands up, forces a 4th and long, and they'll get the ball back.
Yeah, John Lawley coming in with the pressure there, gets the sack. Unfortunately for Sully Richardson, just not a lot of time to really get anything going for that play to develop, as Chance to Win's going to have to punt this ball away from just outside of his own goal line.
Punt upcoming. Snap is a good one. Punt is gone from Chance to Win. And this will give them the ball at the 50-yard line. In Charleston territory at the 49 is where this ends up. So Charleston has the football when we come back to Charleston, South Carolina. It's the SFL Playoffs presented by APM Music on For the Fans. Stay right there. Back inside Charleston, South Carolina, the Predators have the football. They are down by 4 points with 2 minutes to go, with 4 minutes to go before the first half break is done. We are going to be a flat pass to the right. Fullback Sutherland with his third catch doesn't get very far. He gets taken down to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 10 coming up.
Yeah, I definitely, as a fullback myself, appreciate TD Drew and this Predators offense trying to get Terrell Sutherland going in the flats. Unfortunately, this LA defense, seems to have these flats well defended here.
Offset eye, 1 to the left as well. 7 in the box defensively. This will be a throw for Drew to the outside. One-handed grab there, and a big problem. Looks like they tried to get Sutherland involved again. He's having a big problem with the footwork after the catch, and he's putting himself and his team in pretty dangerous spots. 3rd and 10 coming up, and a long 3rd down for Charleston, try to keep this drive alive.
Yeah, Sutherland there looked like he had 2 left feet after the catch, just not really able to turn upfield the way you would have wanted, and LA capitalized on that and takes him down at the line of scrimmage yet again.
Drew to throw. Throws left side. Gonna try to turn it upfield. Not gonna happen. He's got 4 Lycans just in the area. That's not gonna work. And another opportunity for LA to get the ball back on a punt from the 45-yard line. And a nice piece of work there as Charleston's going to get this ball.
Yeah, absolutely have to agree with you. This LA defense just hasn't let up in spite of the shortcomings of their offense thus far in this game. Though of course they do have the lead at the moment, but if from the LA defense standpoint, it's looking good on their end so far.
And that ball is going to get out of the back of the end zone for the touchback. 1st and 10 for the Lycans as they have the football in their possession. And a chance for them to extend this lead a little bit. They've got plenty of time to do it. Let's see where the Lycans go with this drive. 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Sully Richardson is in the gun. To his right is Robert Johnson. Handoff, Johnson on the shotgun run, and it's going to be going nowhere. 2-yard loss. Make it 2nd and 12 coming up.
Yeah, and unfortunately for LA, Robert Johnson on that play, the Predators defense was just absolutely prepared for that. As we see the stats of Davius Reed, who hasn't really gotten anything going for LA. Neither have the 2 tight ends, at least Pryor and Jack Flash.
3 to the right, 1 to the left. Looking to throw it. Left side. That one is caught. Not much to it, but it's enough to get them a few and get them down into 3rd and 7. Davius Reed comes up with the catch, and that puts him in a 3rd and medium situation.
Yeah, Davius Reed getting finally his first reception of the game. And just a quick comparison looking at the 2 quarterbacks, thanks to Declan O'Rourke and Justin Reside in the stats truck. Sully Richardson's QBR 8.8 to TD Drew's 30.7.
Neither quarterback playing particularly well, and it's really difficult to play this game when you're on your back in the backfield. 2-minute warning after the sack, and LA still has the football, but for how long? 10-6, LA leads, as we'll come back to Charleston in just a moment. Back in Charleston, Chris Curtis, along with Aaron Alexander, Declan O'Rourke, and Justin Reside in the stats truck, also contributing to the behind-the-scenes conversation as we get the 2-minute warning done. 2 minutes to halftime as we are getting it set up. Punt coming for LA, giving the ball back to Charleston as they are going to be just shy of their own end zone where this punt's going to take place, but it could put Charleston in some good field position as they go forward out to the 42-yard line. Aaron Alexander, neither quarterback playing particularly well in this first half. That is going to be your main adjustment come halftime, I would think.
Yeah, absolutely. Sully Richardson, 6 of 17 for 69 yards and 3 interceptions. On the other side, TD Drew, 10 for 16 for 62 yards and 2 interceptions. Both quarterbacks struggling to say the least in this game.
Chance to win with a real good boot to that ball. Puts him at the 42-yard line. That's a 60-yard punt roughly. That's going to be through the middle and a catch from Sully for TD Drew. Just his 11th completion of this football game. And it's going to put Lyric Da Vinci in the receiving category as he's got a first down for his squad.
Yeah, Lyric picks up catch number 2. And for Lyric on that play, second verse, same as the first. But enough for another Predator first down.
2 to the left, 1 to the right. TD Drew backs it up, throws into the flat. Chance for Swearingen in the flats, and he's got himself 8 more yards on the reception. 2nd and 2 coming. They are on the precipice of field goal range from here. And the 36 to be a 53-yarder from here. This might not matter anymore. That's through the middle, and that's a catch and a first down out to the 23-yard line. And the Predators starting to move the ball. The 2-minute drill working well for them. Still all 3 timeouts both teams have. 2 to the left, 1 to the right. TD Drew into the flat. Puts it in the hands of Swearingen. Big spin move, 2 spin moves, and he gets down. Just a 3-yard gain, and Charleston takes their first timeout to stop the clock.
Yeah, Swearingen getting a couple opportunities in the flats. Lyric Da Vinci coming up big with another 15-yard grab to their credit. And if I'm Charleston, I'd keep trying to find the tight end here.
2 to the left, 2 to the right. Da Vinci's been a good target so far. They're going to go in the direction of the other tight end, I believe. This one's going to hit the turf harmlessly, though. Good play through the middle. And that'll give a chance for Charleston on a 3rd down to huddle up and design a play here. To basically try to give them a first down, if not, maybe go for the end zone.
Yeah, that one actually intended for Swearingen out of the backfield there on a bit of a curl in the backfield. Unfortunately, the LA defense prepared on that one.
2 to the left, 2 to the right. Looking to throw it. TD Drew moves up in the pocket, throws, found a seam, and it is incomplete, though, as he couldn't quite bring it in. 4th and 7 coming up. Coming up next on the 8 p.m. Music Halftime Report, Kim and Mike will have the first half analysis from the SFL studios. They'll also sit down with Charleston co-owner Johnny Bravo and recap the regular season with the top 10 plays from weeks 1 through 12. It's all coming up on the 8 p.m. Music Halftime Report. Good stuff from both of these teams defensively. They are making things very difficult on each other's offense, really, since the onset of this football game. Charleston has a chance to bring this to a 1-point advantage instead of keep it at 4. This will be Brechet with a chance to do so. It'll be a 37-yarder from this spot and the right hash. Snap good, hold good, kick up and on the way. It is up, and it is through with 0 issue. So that'll get it to a 10-9 ball game. If you had those on your squares, well, you must be the luckiest man alive, as this is going to bring us to a 1-point deficit with about 30 seconds left in this first half.
Yeah, that puts Brad Brechet, though, perfect in this game on field goals. Currently sits 3 for 3 with a long of 51, as his boot has been perhaps the most consistent thing for this Predator offense.
Kick is up and on the way. Returnable from about the 3-yard line. Out to the 10, to the 20. Moving at the 20, trying to keep on his feet. Get it all the way down to the 25-yard line, and that's where the Lycans will start up this drive. 1st and 10 for the Lycans with 3 timeouts and a little bit of time to move downfield. See where they can do it as Thomas Harmon Jr. gets taken down on the return. Richardson, currently 6 for 17 in this football game. He'd do good to add some completions to that. Looks like Charleston may send some extra pressure. They send 4 over the middle. That one's caught. Quick early pass in that formation sequence. 2nd and 3 coming up, as he didn't really need to check it down there. Jack Flash on the catch.
Yeah, Jack Flash getting his first reception on the day, and Sully Richardson's first target to anyone not named Davius Reed or Chris Lee on that one. And it pays dividends for them as they have 2nd and 3 now.
7 in the box defensively, offset I formation, but a tight set. Handoff Rojo. He's going to try to find some room on the right-hand side, make it 3rd and 1 while the clock continues to bleed all the way down, and that'll be the last play of the first half. It is a 10-9 ball game that brings us to the locker rooms. Los Angeles has the lead, and they will kick it to start the second half. We'll go back to SFL HQ after a quick break for the SFL halftime show presented by APM Music. Stay right there on For the Fans.
Welcome to the APM Music Halftime Report with Mike St. Green. I'm Cameron Irvine. What a ball game, 10-9. It is always nice, Mike, to not have a game full of surprises and get exactly what we expected. And that's this one, 10-9 LA, defensive struggle, both secondaries playing out of their mind as the two teams try and figure out what works.
Yeah, what a difference a day makes, Cam. Going into halftime yesterday, combined lead for both teams was 46 points. Today, here we are. Nice, tough, tight game. As you mentioned, like we expected, both defenses have really performed well. And wow, both quarterbacks have kind of performed, below par. And not going to kid you, is kind of what we expected as well.
Now, Robert Johnson did get going, but Keith Swearingen did not. That's one of the reasons why L.A. has a 1-point lead right now. Aaron Alexander said it best, Brad Bretchett has been the most consistent thing consistent part of this Charleston offense. Buchanan Simons, no catches on 4 targets. That has to change in the second half.
Yeah, if this Charleston offense is going to get going, we have to see more from Buchanan Simons. As you mentioned, we haven't mentioned his name at all in this game. One big plus in this first half, Cam, that we did talk about in the pre was Brogan Spearoff with the tip pass that led to an interception in this first half. He's had a solid first half as well as this entire LA defense. And we saw Rachel Colston, who we know is a big part of this LA team, with a big hit right there at the end of the first half when Charleston did get a little bit going and forced him into the field goal and preserved LA's lead going into halftime.
A correction to an earlier report that said that the winner of this game will be going to Atlanta. The winner of this game will go to either Atlanta or Florida, depending upon what happens in the St. Louis-Vancouver game coming up at 4 Eastern on the SFL network. Mike and I will be along for that, and then we'll have a live game day wrap-up of Sunday's action afterwards. But it all comes down to the Vancouver-St. Louis game that's going to determine all 4 matchups of the quarterfinals. Los Angeles happy to be here. Charleston very happy to be here after they experienced a little of what Los Angeles experienced the season prior. Now, Los Angeles' ownership transition came during a tumultuous time. Charleston's passing of the torch was a little bit smoother, a lot smoother actually, as the Predators turned things around and made it to the playoffs in the first season of Johnny Bravo and Jack Brown at the helm. They hired Jacob Clear, and they put the whole staff together, and this team rallied around that, and they have been playing some great football this season.
Yeah, they did rally around the new ownership group, Cam. It came as somewhat of a surprise in the offseason, but as you mentioned, not a total surprise, but the passing of the torch was very smooth over there, and they rallied around Johnny Bravo and the ownership group, and wow, look at them now, 7-5, hosting a playoff game at home. They were able to keep a vast majority of that roster together and in place, and it paid off for them in the end.
We interviewed one of those co-owners, Johnny Bravo, who had a pick right in the first half. Mike, didn't Bravo get his hands on one?
Yeah, Bravo got his hands on one coming out of the game, first drive of the game, and really kind of set the tone early in the game. But LA did come back with Robert Johnson, got him involved and took over in the second quarter. But yeah, Johnny Bravo did come through big as well in the first quarter.
You ran from the studios to the field yesterday. Well, he's been running the field to the owner's box to the studio for halftime interviews, all that good stuff. Here's our conversation with Johnny. Today on People Behind Players, we have the co-owner of the Charleston Predators. He also plays defensive back for them, Johnny Bravo. How you doing, Johnny?
I'm good. Doing great. How you doing?
Great.
Yeah, hey, Johnny, I'm glad we could get you on with us. Man, playoffs, first time since season 14. You guys have pretty much been right there on the cusp of making the playoffs over the past couple seasons, a win here or there, and you guys probably are in. What's it like being back in the playoffs since the last few seasons?
It's great. It's awesome. I'm happy for our team. I'm happy for the players that we have that have been here for a while. That they've endured and have stuck with the ship, whether it's floating or sinking. And so I'm happy for them that they get to experience another playoff run, because it's been season 14 was our last run. But you look back, a lot of these players are still with us from season 14, from that playoff. And so it's been a year and a half, and they're still here. So I'm happy for them. I'm happy for the rookies that we drafted, that they took our word on that we were serious about this, that even though there was a change in ownership, that the team was still going to be stable and we were going to be able to win games, and our goal was to make it to the playoffs, and we've checked that off the list.
Johnny, you did something that previous ownership, two different owners, were never able to do, which is bring a home playoff game to the organization. But previous ownership actually set this team up for success. You all have been together for many years, and the team was passed down successfully because of the work that Alan did to get to this point. Can you speak to? I think it's a little underrated, right? The position that the team was left in was in very good hands with you and Jack Brown, your other co-owner.
Yeah, it was. I think season 13, TD Drew was the GM with Alan, and TD decided to step away from being the GM. And Alan put out, trying to find anyone that was interested in being a GM, and it was myself and Jack and another player that applied for it. I became the GM. The other player, who's no longer with the team, was the assistant GM, and then Jack Brown became the director of communications. And so it's been since the off season of season 13, myself and Jack have been in the staff on the team and running the team and being a part of the meetings. Over the seasons, it's been myself, Alan, and Jack. And so there was no, I was doing all the GM stuff and bringing in players, interviewing players, and Alan was doing ownership things and coaching. So when he handed the team off, it was in good hands, and it was with experienced staff that knew what to do and knew what the team was about and what was in place. It was just the transition for us. The biggest thing was coaching. But as of bringing in players and having the relationship with the players, it was there already. There was no nervousness from the players of there's somebody new taking over or whatever. They knew us and they were comfortable with us being able to take over.
Yeah, John, as you mentioned, changing coaching, but a lot of the players have still been around for 4, 5, 6 seasons, and believe in what Charleston, have been doing over the past few years. But one thing I did notice a slight change in offensive philosophy for sure. You guys went from a 2 tight end set majority of the time to now this season going with the 3 wide receiver set. What went behind that decision to say, hey, we're gonna switch it up a little bit here and see if we can do something different to maybe get us over the top?
That's all Jacob Clear, letting him do his thing. Allen initially brought him in to assist with the offense, and then Allen decided to depart. So we gave him me and him have worked really well together. We have a really good relationship and friendship, and we made him the GM, and he was like, man, I'm going to let you do the offense. You do your thing. And so this is his plan. He wanted to go back to 3 wide receiver, tight end, fullback, running back setup, and this is all him. This is everything on the offense is him. He's doing that, and I'm doing the defense. So all credit goes to him on the anything that's changed with our offense has been his plan and his scheme, and I'm looking forward to what he has for the upcoming season. So he'll be back next season, and I'm looking forward to. It's been a transition for him to have to go from what we had to what he's wanting to do now. So, I mean, getting 7 wins with the new coaching plan and taking over, he's done a really good job.
2-part question, Johnny. What's it like being Johnny Bravo outside the SFL? And then also, do you feel like you're playing with house money because you guys took over in the middle of the offseason and had to get a new coach and new personnel and new staff and all that sort of stuff, and yet you're here hosting a home playoff game?
Myself outside of this is busy. I work for the railroad. I'm on call 24/7. It's really busy. And then finding time to taking care of this and coaching, it's busy. I'm all over the place, whether it's taking care of the house, things around the house, work. It's crazy. I'm going all the time. And then no, I mean it's what was your other thing? With,
do you feel like you're playing with house money? Do you feel like you got nothing to lose being in the playoffs? Because you didn't necessarily expect to be here.
Yeah. It's. I mean, we're in, man. All we got to do is win. All we got to do is win and win. If we don't win, then we're out. So all you got to do is win. It's we don't want to go too crazy. We want to stay with our same game plan. You get over aggressive and then it winds up shooting yourself in the foot. But yeah, man, let's do it. I mean, let's get it knocked out. Let's go ahead and get a championship. First season as owners, myself and Jack, and why not, dude? Let's hit the home run. We got nothing to lose.
Bonus question for you, Johnny. I know you're a big South Park fan. They've been doing a bracket for the best South Park episode ever. What is your favorite South Park episode?
Oh man, there's a bunch of Butters bottom.
Oh,
B.
don't. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Butters bottom B. That's the best one, man. That one's really good because that one. I think about that one and that one's like a double storyline. So they're following Butters doing his thing with his kissing service, and then you've got the cop going undercover and going way too far with his undercover deal. And so when I think back to that episode, that seems like 2 different episodes. So they did a really good job with running a double storyline on that episode. But man, there's so many of it, and I'm behind. They've switched it from Hulu over to I guess HBO. So I don't know how many seasons I'm behind, 1 or 2, maybe 3 seasons. I need to get caught back up. But yeah, I could do that, man. I could do that for a living. I come up with some crazy stuff, and I just love how they make fun of everybody. They're not worried about offending anybody, man. But We all got to laugh. Man. We all got to laugh at each other, laugh at ourselves.
We know you're a cartoon lover, given the name. But Mike, we gotta invest in a bleeper here at the studios. I was getting really worried there. I don't have a bleeper on hand, so that would have been some trouble.
I knew we were family friendly here, so I wasn't gonna do it.
Gotcha. Well, Johnny, thanks for being here with us. Best of luck against Los Angeles. It was great having you here, and what you've done to help get this team into the postseason is pretty remarkable. I think very underrated. What you guys have done. You haven't had necessarily the toughest schedule in the league or anything like that, but you've taken care of business. When you need to win games, you win games, and now you're here. So, looking forward to it. Best of luck.
Oh yeah. I appreciate it. I want to say I hope they're together, but this is really cool that TD Drew, Jack Hoffman, Rachel, and her husband, they're with LA, and then TD and Hoffman are with us, so they're supposed to be getting together to watch the game. So enjoy the game. I hope you all are having a good time. It's pretty cool. I text TD and I was like, "Hey, dude, we're playing LA. We're playing Rachel's team. They both live down New Orleans, so."
Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome stuff. An underrated storyline of the game. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, thanks, Johnny.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thanks, Johnny.
New Orleans, a central hub for the Los Angeles Lycans and Charleston Predators, and a good interview from Johnny. Gives us perspective on where that Predators team has been at, and it was tough. We were talking to Johnny a little off the air about how quickly everything happened in terms of deadlines and things like that, but he handled it with flying colors.
Cam, first of all, I was expecting to see blonde hair and shades when we first started talking to Johnny, but yeah, he's a great dude, great talking to him. Yeah, and they put that together extremely fast, as you mentioned. But it's a great thing that they had a solid locker room over there that had been together for many, many seasons, and Johnny was a part of that team as well for many, many seasons. So, it was an easy transition for them to keep everything together and do the things that they're doing right now. I'll tell you one thing that was kind of interesting listening back is that they went from the 2 wide receiver set to the 3 wide receiver set. And LA did the exact opposite this season. They went from a 3 wide receiver set to a 2 wide receiver set. So
now they're playing.
It's kind of interesting that they are meeting here in the playoffs. I kind of picked up on that as the interview went on, and then listening back to that, pretty interesting contrast right there.
Yeah, the storylines intertwine. LA used to be Chicago, Charleston used to be Indianapolis, and Indianapolis and Chicago used to be in the same division back in the day. So it's pretty interesting. But the one key as we look forward to the second half, the one key I think for Charleston is Robert Johnson has 10 carries, 78 yards, and a touchdown. But LA's only up 1. I'm not sure that Robert Johnson can, he might get a handful more touches, but he can't play much better, and LA's still only ahead by a point.
Well, the difference in with that scenario right there, Cam, are the turnovers that, Charleston were able to get 3 turnovers when LA was still, for whatever reason, they came out wanting to, throw the ball more than that we typically used to. And once they got Robert involved, we saw LA kind of flip the switch and take control of the game slightly. But even though, Charleston, they're obviously very much in this game, but and opposite of that, I would like to see a little bit of Swearingen in the second half, and maybe they can get some consistency in that Charleston offense. Even though right there at the end they did get the short passing game going a little bit, but mix in some Swearingen in there. He was a big part of why they're here. I would like to see more of them in the second half.
Before we get to the second half, we showed you the top 10 plays from weeks 10 through 12 in pregame, but we took a look back at all season long of the top 40 plays, tried to narrow that down to 10. Here are the plays that had the staying power, and someone very familiar to this game lands in the number 1 spot. These are your top 10 plays of the SFL regular season.
Jackson under center hands the ball off to Moses. Moses breaks through a couple of tackles, breaks through another, crossing midfield. Can he be stopped? Only Mickey McGuire has a chance, but he's not gonna get there. Touchdown, Scorpions. That's how you start a quarter. Moses. Back-to-back carries. He's off to the races again. Can he repeat? It's going to be even longer if he can beat the defender. He can. 10, 5, touchdown. Lightning has struck twice.
I don't know what to say, Mike.
My goodness. Well,
Jared Willis gets a call. Willis fumbles it. And Baltimore's going to run this back. You cannot be serious right now. Troy Loshaw returned to sender. It's a scoop and score.
Oh, big play there by the Baltimore defense as you got a scoop and score, as you said. Alan Mack with, I believe, the hit right there, jars the ball loose, and that ball just bounces right into the hands of Troy Loshaw. Boy, and if things go right for you, they go right.
Tight end. Great pocket. Oh, what an attempt. Oh, he caught it. He caught it. Are you kidding me? What a catch by Serene Storm.
When that ball was first thrown, I thought I was going to get intercepted off the deflection. But Serene Storm kept his composure, looked around for the football, did not panic, and comes down with the big one.
To the right of the Figman. Storm down to the bottom of the field. Ew, that pass is deflected away. Oh! Catch! What a catch! That's 2 deflection catch. This time it's Ben Callia.
And I tell you what, despite the success that London's having on this drive, you can tell that Fort Worth has done their homework because they've been very aggressive on defense.
Good play on first down.
And the catch by Soto is going to be fumbled, but I think it was intercepted. So even if they call, say it's not a catch, there's a potential for an interception on this play. We'll see if it hits the ground here. I don't think there was time for a football move, but I don't know. Did it hit the ground there, Benji? I can't tell.
I don't think it did. Don't.
Oh, it tipped. I think he caught it off double bounce.
Still counts.
Green gonna milk every second now into 4 seconds on the play clock. Play action from Green. Gonna take another deep shot. Diving catch, Mason Kirby. What?
Wow.
Vegas gambling, and they're pulling the handle on the slot machine and just 777s, man. This is just amazing right now.
13, a no huddle, 3 minutes to go. Synergy fires it. It is incomplete. Gill almost one-handed that one. They mark him out of bounds. That may be worth a challenge for the Dragons.
Yeah, you got something to lose.
There it is.
Dragons, and there it is. Oh, let's see if he gets the foot down. If he does, it's going to be another remarkable catch here for Josh Gill. Let's check the replay here. This should be a big play for DC.
Oh, he got it.
Oh, that right foot went down. I think we're going to have a catch here. It's going to be, the call's going to be overturned.
Oh, what a catch by Gill.
4:38 to go in the game. Baltimore with 3 wide on second down. Wigmore stepping back, and he's nearly broke down, but it's intercepted, and there's room to run. Nobody in front of him. It's going to go all the way. Now pick 6. Touchdown, London. Emmanuel Blackman blows the game open for the Knights.
That is absolutely huge for this game. London now has broken the lead open a little bit more with an amazing Emmanuel Blackman read. That we knew that Mac Chima was the big receiver so far in this game for Baltimore. They decided to go Chima's way again. Blackman was ready. He got the interception, and he had plenty of space to run for the pick 6. And now up 9. They've potentially up 10 up to this point if they can get the extra point.
Now they'll start at their own 1-yard line, will the Aztecs. Very dangerous territory. Pressure coming. Wilson can't get it away. He struggles on another tackle. He's still
gonna run.
He's going to run for the first down.
No way.
Now Wilson's still going down to the 25. What a play from the 12-season veteran.
That's what veteranship gets you here. Las Vegas did an amazing job with the pressure coming from both sides, and
this past week getting prepared for Carolina has been back and forth. But here's
look at Phoenix.
From hell from Phoenix Jones. Brings another score. Sport, dude. I just crossed Hollywood Boulevard for the second time today.
Strong power out. That's the same play they ran to score the touchdown just as the half was ending. They ran it again here in the third, and they scored another touchdown off of it. And Phoenix Jones is telling his offensive coordinator, you better not take this Panther playbook next week, or we're going to have some words, fella.
Position if they don't. We'll see if this is a smart play. Burr with a 7-step drop. Looks to throw over the middle of the field. That's a catch. First down and more. Out to the 30-yard line. He breaks more, and he is to the house. An unreal play. Houston scores to give themselves back the lead.
DR Sim. Yeah, the DR Sim. That's what we expect from this longtime veteran of this game. He was about to get his soon enough. And look at that. 1 shed tackle, 2 shed tackles, 3 shed tackles. Nobody can touch DR Sim. Nobody can get him on the ground when he says to himself, I ain't going down. And DR Sim carrying this drive himself.
Having to look to add more of it. Robert Johnson with some power moves. He's still going. He shakes up another tackle inside the 20. Oh, put this one in the top 10 plays of the week for sure. Touchdown, Los Angeles. Robert Johnson just went beast mode.
And just a ridiculous run. He should have been down at 4 different points in that spot. And he just continued to truck everybody. You want to talk about a blood moon? This is a bloodbath here on this run. Boom, boom, shaking defenders off. Boom, another one there. And he just will not be denied. Robert Johnson is going to score come hell or high water on that run.
Oh, man. The memories, Mike. What a season we've had, and can't wait to see what the rest of the playoffs have in store for us, and we'll see a top 10 postseason during the championship game.
Cam, I thought Robert Johnson had been traded from the Predators there at midseason, but yeah, that
blood
was
moon uniforms.
That was LA wearing their blood moon uniforms. There, that was one of the greatest runs you ever want to see this season. Oh man, that Phoenix Jones run, it was a great run as well. But yeah, playoff memories are definitely being made. We're going to see what memories are made in the second half.
LA 10, Charleston 9. Your second half with Curtis, Alexander, Reside, and O'Rourke comes your way next after this commercial break. This has been the APM Music Halftime Report, and Wild Card Weekend continues next.
Back inside for Moultrie Memorial Stadium in Charleston, South Carolina. It's the start of the second half of play in the wild card matchup between the LA Lycans and the Charleston Predators. Chris Curtis, Aaron Alexander in the broadcast booth with you. Declan O'Rourke and Justin Reside in the stats truck with Cameron Irvine hitting the buttons back at SFL HQ. We're ready to go for the second half of play. Charleston going to start with this football as this will get returned to about the 22-yard line. A defensive first half, Aaron, and it's becoming a bit of a turf war in Charleston as we try to figure out a winner, who moves on and who goes home.
Yeah, absolutely. Both quarterbacks below a QBR of 40, just under 300 yards, I think, between them. It might even be less than 200, taking a look at it. It has been a struggle for these offenses to really get anything going, and it's reflected in the scoreline.
See what they do offensively and to change things up in the second half. This will be a run forward for Swearingen, who's not going to get very far, 2 yards to his credit, and it will be a second and long coming up. But that's the first play from scrimmage for this Charleston offense. They had a decent balance in the first half between run and pass, but to the defense's credit on both sides, the quarterbacks have not played well, including a very poor completion percentage for Sully Richardson. That's going to be a run for Swearingen. He actually loses the 2 that he gained, make it 3rd and 10 coming up, and a 3 and out on defense would be great for LA as they try to extend this lead.
Yeah, absolutely. And LA defensively has been sticking with what works. Charleston is trying to establish the run, but into a defense that has had one of the best rushing defenses in the league. It's stagnated.
That's going to be right side tipped and incomplete. That was dangerous, but nothing doing. 4th down coming, and LA is going to get this ball back fairly quickly. Good stuff on defense for them, and TD Drew has a quick 3 and out on offense. Jack Hacksaw comes up to make the play.
Yeah, the backup free safety there on a bit of bump coverage in the zone. Thomas Rama Jr. is the one that gets his hands on it. Hacksaw was there to try and get the interception. Unfortunately, it just kind of fell out of his hands. But LA on the first play in the second half forces the 3 and out.
Good stuff. It'll give LA a chance to get the ball back with decent field position, it would seem, as they'll be kicking this ball away from about the 23-yard line where they're formationed at. Punter lined up at his own 7. He'll kick it from his own 10. Kick is up and gone. It'll be up over the midfield logo. Caught and returned from about the 38-yard line and gets to the 41 and no further than that. Now we have a Sully Richardson first drive of this game, and we will see where he's able to go with this first drive. He has a good running back option in Robert Johnson behind him, who had a pretty decent first half, including a really nice run down the left sideline that set him up for their only touchdown in this football game. See where they go. But first down looking real spicy at the moment as they've got a nice defensive set to go against. This will be up the left side. That one's caught down the sideline, and stepping out of bounds is Chris Lee, his 3rd reception of the game.
Yeah, Chris Lee going short this time. A bit of a change in on the first play of this drive. He's normally the deep man, but this time it's just a quick 5-yard out route for the Cheese.
Under center. 2 in the backfield. Actually, not under center, in the gun. Apologies, is Richardson. Thought there were 2 in the backfield for him. Richardson to throw deep over the middle of the field, and a long ball over the middle that no one can get to. And Davius Reed, your intended target. Nothing doing. 3rd and medium coming up.
Yeah, it was a bit of a spicy situation there in the pocket as one of the defensive ends, I believe it was John Lawley, jumped up to try and knock that ball down. Unfortunately, not able to get a handle on it, but caused enough pressure, I think, to cause that ball to be thrown a bit off.
Only 1 reception on the day and 5 targets for Davius Reed. Richardson to throw, left side, looking for the first down, and they're going to give it to him. I disagree with that spot, but apparently that's where R62 is going to put this football. Davius Reed, 2 targets in a row. This one he brings in and nearly got, Aaron did get a first down out of it. So good work. 1st and 10 from the Charleston 49. And yeah, so Charleston will be challenging indeed the spot of the ball. I agree with that assessment. We'll see what R62 has to say.
Yeah, definitely from the angle we were at, I think the ball had just barely crossed the first down marker, which would be where they would mark forward progress. In fact, Oh, that's close.
We'll see here.
That's really close.
Short to me.
Yeah, just barely. It's going to be 3rd and inches, I think.
Okay, so they did get the spot wrong, and that's going to put a very short situation on field. Nothing doing. They do not get the first down out of this. 4th and inches.
You've got to go for this.
And yeah, that's exactly what they're going to do. It looks like they're going to keep the formation on the field. 4th and inches. We'll see if LA decides to snap this football. 7 in the box defensively. This could be one of the big decisions that makes or breaks a playoff advance. Through the middle. Did he get it? He did not. That is going to be a stop. And Charleston's going to get this football. Oh, what a stop. Right at the line of scrimmage. Jack Brown comes up and makes an incredible play.
That's another one that I think is just incredibly close to call, but Jack Brown finding the hole and just plugging it up immediately. And LA, from what it looks like, is gonna turn it over on downs.
That creates a huge field position turn. Charleston with a real good spot just shy of midfield. This could be a spot for them to take advantage of. TD Drew to the outside of Swearingen. Swearingen spins past 1, but not 2. He'll get taken down after a 4-yard gain. High emotions in this winner-go-home matchup for either side in Wild Card Weekend. A lot of fun to be had. Either team is either playing Florida or Atlanta in 1 week's time if they can come out with it. And Swearingen, you expect to see more of him in the second half. 3 to the right, 1 to the left.
Yeah, I think that turnover definitely cemented momentum on Charleston's side.
And that's a seed over the middle. 1st down and 10 as they get a new set of downs at the 34-yard line. Into LA territory they go with a new set. TD Drew finds his man over the middle.
Yeah, and the man that he finds for the first time this game, surprise, surprise, is Buchanan Simons, who is normally the favorite target of TD Drew, but LA's defense has done a good job keeping him contained.
1st and 10, 2 to the left, 1 to the right, 4 on the defensive line. Charleston trying to get themselves into the end zone. That's going to be a catch. 1st down and more. Down close to the 20-yard line. They'll give it to him at the 20. Ken McCarroll with the grab. 1st and 10, just inside the red zone for the second time today.
Yeah, and Ken McCarroll picking up just his 3rd reception on the day, which just goes to prove how tight these defenses have been in the pass game. But this time, it's going to see the Predators inside of LA territory.
And off. Swearingen trying to work the left, has the edge, tries to spin. He'll spin back inside, get hit back inside, and it'll be a 6-yard run for him at the 16-yard line, 2nd and 4.
Yeah, Ryan
15.
Yosef coming up with the stop there from his strong safety position. Swearingen finally getting something done in the run game. He's got one of the 2 interceptions for this LA Lycans defense so far.
Hand off. Swearingen again. This time he gets taken down at the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 5 coming. And a key 3rd down coming up here. LA trying to yet again hold him to a 3 and out. And maybe at least hold him to 3 points if they can.
Yeah, Ma Rivers, the defensive tackle on that one, picks up his 3rd tackle for loss on the day. Total tackle number 4 for him from that DT spot.
Getting into his position late in this season, Moore Rivers has been one of your impact players across the league, not just on this roster. Chance, right side on the run. They're going to call that a catch towards the sideline. 1st and goal at the 9, and it'll be a chance for Charleston to punch it in here. They've got 4 chances to do it.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see another red flag here, this time from the LA sideline. If this sticks, though, good awareness from TD Drew, escaping the pocket with some pressure from the defensive line of LA, and makes a great throw into the hands of his target.
Looking to throw. Buchanan Simons was the intended target. Couldn't bring it in, as that one's going to get hit down to the turf. LA playing good defense and coverage to knock that down. 2nd and goal.
Yeah, Ryan Yosef there yet again. He's been everywhere on this drive for LA and prevents that ball from going into the hands of Ken McCarroll for 7.
2nd and goal. Defensive line moving right to left. High formation, handoff Swearingen, going to work his way through the middle. He's not going to get close enough. Get him to the 8-yard line. 3rd and goal coming, and a passing situation for TD Drew, or so it would seem, on this 3rd and goal.
Yeah, Maul Rivers again just gets the push on that center from his nose tackle position, and Keith Swearingen just can't really do anything about it. You got a big body in your way. There's nowhere you can really go.
3 to the left, 1 to the right. Football's in the hands of TD Drew. Plenty of time in the pocket. Throws left into the flat. Gonna try to work towards the pylon. He is short. 4th and goal at the 1-yard line. Swearingen had a ton of time in the flats by himself. Couldn't get the momentum to work his way forward. And a decision coming for Charleston here where they may just take the points.
Yeah, that was a big stop there by a combination of Buddy Blaze, the outside linebacker, and Rochelle Colston, the free safety, coming up with a huge touchdown-saving tackle on that pass in the flats. And Brechet's going to come out for field goal number 4.
5th tackle of the day for Rochelle Colston, the free safety for LA. Kick is up and on the way, and the chip shot is through from 17 yards. So that gives Charleston the lead. First time they've had the lead since 6-0 earlier in the game. We are headed to a quick break. 5 minutes left in the 3rd. It's a 12-10 game. Charleston out in front. Stay right there on For the Fans. Back in Charleston, South Carolina. Charleston kicking the ball off after the long field goal drive. Will give LA back the football as it'll be returnable from about the end zone line to the 20, and they'll give them actually the 18 for Warren Jr. So that'll give LA back the chance to take the lead back. Sully Richardson back out on to the field. The end of the first half at a 6 for 17 clip is not much better at the moment with a 9 for 21. Still some work to do for Sully Richardson and company, but his team still very much has a chance because of the way his defense is played, as has the defense of Charleston to this point. Handoff through the middle for Rojo. He's going to get himself forward for 9 yards, 2nd and 1, and dare say he got very close to the first down marker, but in this case, it is a Corey Mentor tackle that stops him from getting the first down.
Yeah, and I think at this point in the game, LA needs to rely on this running attack by Robert Johnson in order to get the lead back in this game. He was hot early on. They decided to stop going to him for whatever reason. I think here they start going to him more.
This will be a Rojo run down the right side. Couldn't quite get the edge. He's going to get stopped at the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 1 coming. Just shy of the first down once more. Big 3rd down coming up here for both teams.
Of course, they say that, and Charleston's defense adjusts very well on the 2nd and short situation, anticipating the run there, and with that many people in the box and a good push by the defensive line. It's a good stop there by the Predators.
LA doesn't have a 3rd down conversion in this game. Richardson trying to get the first one up the left side and incomplete. Looks like a route miscommunication there, and it ended up with the ball getting thrown into no man's land. 4th and 1. LA is going to punt this one away. They are 0 for 8 on 3rd downs.
Yeah, that's not great. Of course, Charleston not much better, 2 for 12. But to your point, I think these lack of 3rd down conversions for LA is part of the reason they're down in this game right now. And that throw by Sully Richardson, definitely uncharacteristic. I think a bit of the playoff nerves getting to him here.
Yeah, a little bit. This will be over the 40-yard line of the 33, returnable to the 40 itself. These teams combining for 2 for 20 on 3rd downs, a measly 10% of offensive conversions for a first down on a 3rd down chance. So keep that in mind. The defense is playing very well on both sides, and we see more of that here. We've seen more punts in this game than we've seen completions by Sully Richardson. As of right now, 1st and 10 coming up for the Charleston Predators in the I formation. Drew over the middle. That one's caught. 8-yard completion, make it 9. 2nd and 1, just inside the 49, close to the 50.
Yeah, that one into the hands of Lyric Da Vinci, who's proving to be the best possession option for Charleston at the moment. We're approaching 100 plays combined by both of these. Yet there's only 12 first downs between the two on twice as many drives.
I formation, 2 to the left. Tight defensive set, handoff. Swearingen, he goes nowhere. Make it 3rd and 3, 2-yard loss again. And the defensive line run blitz gets home and takes him out. Rahman Jr., the main catalyst in that defensive stop.
Yeah, Charleston wants Keith Swearingen to run. Thomas Rahman Jr. says, "How about no?"
2 to the left. Handoff, Swearingen through the middle. He's going to get taken down again. 3rd down goes nowhere. Make it 2 for 13 on 3rd downs is Charleston, and another punt coming up.
Yeah, that one, the backup outside linebacker, Paladin Smith, on the TFL, and is going to force Charleston to punt this one away. They're going for it, perhaps.
We're in a 4th down scenario here. They could go for this. Another one of those decisions in a playoff scenario that could come back to bite him. It's a free play. They got him on the defensive discipline, and that's a first down for Charleston past midfield.
Yeah, Charleston decides to try and take advantage of the young defensive line, and unfortunately, in a bit of a lapse of judgment, they are going to catch Brogan Sparrow with the encroachment penalty. It's going to give Charleston a free 5 yards and a first down.
That is not ideal if you're the Lycans, especially giving it up on Charleston's home turf. Charleston gets a new set of downs inside LA territory, and watch out now. 2-3 to the right, 1 to the left. Momentum clearly on the side of the Predators. 5 in the box defensively for LA. Looking to throw it. Throws deep over the middle of the field and well long of the intended target. I think part of that was he was getting hit as he threw. Either way, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, definitely have to agree with you there. I think he did get hit by the week 4 signing Ace Blackwell coming off of the other edge and forces that ball way, way long. Could have been dangerous if there was anybody playing deep in center field.
2nd and 10. Offset eye. Defensive line showing they might send some extra help here. 7 in the box defensively. They'll send 4. TD Drew over the middle. That's a catch. Not much to it. Make it a 3rd and 4 after a 6-yard completion. Next Level Sports continuing coverage of the SFL postseason resumes next Saturday, October 23rd at 1 p.m. Eastern with your playoff pregame primer at SFL Studios, followed by kickoff of the first quarterfinal game of the weekend at 1:30 Eastern, featuring Arizona either traveling to Atlanta or Mexico City. To find Next Level Sports channels in your devices, visit itsnextlevel.com so you don't miss a minute of the SFL action. Left side, caught, first down and more inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. They'll mark him at the 33. That's a good ball for Jay Taylor, 1st and 10.
Yeah, Jay Taylor picking up, I believe, his first catch on the day there. Just caught the defense off guard with a bit of lax coverage on the flat, in the out route there. And Charleston is marching here for the first time in what seems like forever.
2 to the left, 1 to the right. Swearingen's your back. TD Drew, right side, deep, caught, looking for the 10, 5, and he is in! Touchdown, Charleston! What a play, Buchanan Simons, to grab that on the deep out and take it to the house. Touchdown, Predators, and they have themselves a bigger lead.
And look who it is after being quiet for almost 3 full quarters. Finally, a bit of a miscue by Thomas Rahman Jr. finds the ball into the hands of Buchanan Simons, who picks up Charleston's first down of the game.
Charleston with what is going to end up being a 2-score lead as long as the extra point has no issues, and what a time to take it. And a 19-10 spread as long as Brechet gets this one through the uprights. Snapped low. Hold is okay. Kick is up and on the way. It is up and it is through. So a little bit of a scare there, but they do make it a 19-10 score. LA is going to get the ball back, but that is exactly what the doctor ordered for Charleston and either one of these offenses, to be fair.
Yeah, it was bound to happen eventually. One of these defenses was eventually going to break. Unfortunately, it does end up being the Lycans, but there's still a little more than a full quarter left for LA to come back in this game, and they definitely have the offensive pieces to do so.
At the 3-yard line, returnable. To about the 23, and that is going to get them a new offensive drive. Talking about the Lycans and bring back out Sully Richardson. He's got Rojo with him. And we have not seen Chris Lee yet in this second half. He's got to be one they got to think about going to. And they are now down 2 scores and a bit of a state of emergency on the LA sideline as they are now a quarter and a half away from being eliminated. 3 to the left, 1 to the right. Richardson's under center. And off Rojo. Rojo's going to get knocked around at the line of scrimmage, 2nd and 10, as he will go absolutely nowhere. More good defense played at the defensive line and the point of impact on this line of scrimmage.
Yeah, absolutely. This Charleston Predator defense has stepped up in a big way here in this second half, and there's proof of it there as Robert Johnson gets nothing on that run.
Offside eye again. Hand off Rojo, going to try to work the outside. Broken tackle, ball's on the ground, and it is recovered by Charleston. Charleston has the football. Huge turnover created by the Charleston defense. They have themselves the football in great field position to extend the lead.
And in another case of rarities, Robert Johnson coughs the ball up, stripped by Josh Reese, the free safety, and Charleston, after just scoring not but 10 seconds ago, finds himself yet again within scoring range.
And don't look now, that was Johnny Bravo jumping on the football to make sure that Charleston was able to recover that. I formation. Looking to throw it over the middle. That one's caught. 10 to the 5 to the 3-yard line and get them 1st and goal again. Charleston knocking on the door.
Yeah, and TD Drew has found a sense of comfort in the tight end, Lyric Da Vinci, who picks up catch number 6 on the day. Is approaching that century mark, sits at 74 right now.
That is going to bring us to the end of the 3rd frame. Get your 4s and your 86s up in chat. The Charleston Predators 1 corner away from moving on to the quarterfinals. It's the SFL playoffs presented by APM Music on For the Fans. Stay right there. back inside Charleston, South Carolina. 19-10 lead for Charleston, but they are knocking on the door, trying to put themselves into solid position to move on to the SFL quarterfinals. I formation. Under center is going to be TD Drew. Swearingen's the deep back. A goal line set for the Lycans. Throws onto the flats, trying to get to the spin. Swearingen is not going to get there. Very close on the spin. He gets absolutely upended at the goal line. Nothing doing. His second and goal.
He had the opening, had the broken tackle. Unfortunately, Jack Hacksaw, the backup free safety, comes up huge to stop Charleston from getting into the end zone.
Well, there still may not be done yet. Swearingen to the outside, trying to get there. Can't find the edge. Make it third and goal as he loses a yard or two. And that puts them in a possible throwing situation. They've gone to Swearingen twice, have not been able to get in. Now is the question, do you try to bunch it up and put it up the middle, or do you try for a pass?
I could see them trying to get this ball into the hands of Lyric Da Vinci on an out route from the tight end spot.
Da Vinci they've gone to him in this situation before. See if he can make it happen on this one. Offset eye. Drew is under center. Handoff Swearingen through the middle. Has a hole, and he's in. Touchdown, Charleston on a third down. That gives Charleston a potential 3-possession lead if they decide to go for 2.
Yeah, Charleston on just their third down conversion, and it's a touchdown run by Keith Swearingen, who finally hits pay dirt after being relatively held in check all game.
All right. Big extra point here. They're going to go for the extra point. They decided give themselves a 2-touchdown with 2 extra point lead, or 2-point conversion lead. Snap is high, held well, kick is up and on the way. It is up. And it is through. It is 26-10. Charleston seemingly on their way at the moment, but still a lot of football left with most of a quarter to go.
Yeah, Charleston definitely has the game in hand, but LA will not let this game end quietly. They're down 2 scores, still just under 10 minutes to go in this game.
Back deep is Warren Jr. for this kick. LA will return it from just inside their end zone to the 10. Left at the 15 to the 20. Gets taken down at the 22. That's where LA will start this drive. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life. Inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music's the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. I've actually been to that site and gone through, found the SFL soundtrack, and just listened to it to get fired up sometimes. It's a really, really good one. That's going to be a tackle, and just actually got rid of the football, 2nd and 10, to negate the sack at least, and that will be a stop. No tackle for loss, though, as if there's an incomplete pass.
Yeah, John Lawley, the 12th pick of this past SFL draft, hungry for his 3rd sack there. Unfortunately, Sully Richardson gets the ball away before he can bring him down. But
Richardson 3 to the left, 1 to the right. This is a big play here. Got to get it to a manageable 3rd down if he can. They cannot afford mistakes at this point. Left side, deep. That was a one-handed interception. The Statue of Liberty interception at the 43-yard line. Oh, what a play on defense. Unreal from Corey Menner.
What a grab by Corey Menner. He just has the wherewithal to see where the ball is going. That one intended for Davius Reed. Doesn't have the time to get 2 hands on it. Says, to heck with it. I'm going to go for this pick anyways. And he gets it for his 2nd of the ball game.
Unreal by Corey Menner. And it sets up Charleston with a chance to maybe put their foot in this game. Left side, that's caught. Trying to turn the corner, but taken down after the quick completion. A 5-yard gainer. 4 picks on the day from Sully Richardson. I would argue to say probably 2 of them at least are not his fault. Jay Taylor on the catch there. But that was absolutely an athletic show of brilliance by Corey Menner to bring that one down.
Yeah, absolutely have to agree with you on that one there. Sets up some great field position for the Predators to start this drive.
Left side, chance for Swearingen. He has some holes on the spin move to boot. Down the sideline, and he is going to get to the goal line. Not in just yet, first and goal.
Yeah, I believe that was Rochelle Colston saving that one again. Swearingen, though, finally finding some room to run after being stuffed repeatedly at the line of scrimmage throughout this game. Gets a nice spin move that forces Ryan Yosef to miss. And Swearingen just oh so close to getting rushing touchdown number 2 on the day.
Swearingen in the backfield. They may give it to him to try to bottle this one up. Fullback Sutherland's in front of him. Handoff. Swearingen, left side. He is not going to get there. He actually loses a few inches, gets it back to the 1-yard line.
Yeah, credit on that goes to a cross between Rochelle Colston and Moore Rivers, the DT and free safety, coming up with a big stop there to prevent Swearingen from hitting the end zone.
Offset I formation once more, second and goal. Big moment in this football game. Swearingen can't get there again. And that is going to be another stop on second down. Make it third and goal for Charleston at the 2.
Yeah, another one. More Rivers. This defensive tackle is just bullying the Charleston center and picks up another huge TFL on Keith Swearingen to prevent him from hitting the end zone yet again.
Third and goal. Looking to throw. Right over the middle, and that is going to be incomplete. Charleston's going to have to settle for a field goal here. Remember that if things get tight, but with 7 minutes to go, things are not as tight as the Lycans would like, but they'll at least be able to try to hold them to 3 points and maybe hold it to a 19-point game.
Yeah, this one, definitely credit to Rochelle Colston for setting up this huge defensive stand by this Lycans defense, assisted, of course, by the multiple TFLs by Moore Rivers, and Bretchen's going to come on for field goal number 5.
This will be a chip shot. High snap, though. Dangerous, but it is up and through with not a lot of issues past that. Making a 29-10 advantage for Charleston, who have yet to surrender points in this second half of the LA offense. LA is searching for answers to this Charleston defense, who has played very well in this game. Both defenses up to this point had played very, very well, but LA is seemingly getting worn out as to the amount of time Charleston's been on the offensive side of the field.
And a keynote shout out to Nate Hall in the chat. Charleston has been on a 20-0 run since halftime. Actually, since the field goal right before halftime.
Yeah, that's a big score, big run from the offense for Charleston, and that is going to bring us to this next drive from LA. That was the time when they need to get points every time out to be able to make this comeback a reality. 3 to the left, 1 to the right. It's either come back and win or go home for LA, and I don't think they're ready to go home just yet. Handoff through the middle. Sully Richardson hands it off, and Robert Johnson does not get very far, make it a 1-yard gain, make it 2nd and 9.
Yeah, so just taking a look at how things have gone for LA, going back since the field goal back in the second quarter, it's been punt, end of halftime, 4th down turnover, punt, fumble, is how LA's drives have ended.
Oh, I mean, yeah, and the turnover would have been the interception a little while ago. That one-handed interception by Corey Menner that's going to be talked about in SFL lore for a long time in a playoff scenario. That's going to be over the middle. 3rd and 5 coming up for LA. This is a massive 3rd down for both these teams. LA needs it. Charleston wants it. See who gives. 3 to the left, 1 to the right. 1 in the backfield with him for Sully Richardson. Looking to throw it. Throws deep left side. That one is going to be tipped and incomplete once more. Davius Reed, your intended target. 4th down, and I possibly going for this at this point.
Yeah, got to give credit to Corey Menner and on the opposite side, Johnny Bravo. The 2 corners have just been clamped to Davius Reed and Chris Lee this entire game.
They're not going to go for it on this 4th down. Punt team back up there. Chance to win is the punter. Back deep for LA. Kick is up and gone. Returnable from about the 31-yard line. Gets it to the 35 and no further than that. And the Predators have a chance, Jay Taylor and company have a chance to really run down this clock. We'll see if they can do it and start to maybe bottle up this game and maybe a trip to the quarterfinals.
Yeah, this would be the first time since the Predators have been the Predators that they will win a postseason game if the score holds.
Last time this franchise won a playoff game, they were in the Indy Red Devils, just to give you a sense of age to that statement. 2nd and 7 after a 3-yard gain for Swearingen, who continues to run through the middle. He's only got 63 yards, but they are impact yards for Swearingen, and his work is out of the receiving backfield more than it is out of the rushing backfield in this game.
Yeah, and it's definitely much needed at a time like this in order to keep the clock running and slowly dwindle the fire of the LA Lycans.
That's going to be to the outside. That's caught out to the 43-yard line. Make it a 3rd and 3 coming up as Buchanan Simons has another grab. Another big 3rd down coming up here. Charleston wants to keep the clock moving as much as possible, and part of doing that is getting this 3rd down conversion.
Yeah, but the story of this game has been these defenses, and Charleston only 3 of 15, 20% here on 3rd down conversions this game.
These two teams combined 3 for 24. If you're looking at that, Swearingen through the middle, he's not going to get there. 4th and 1, another 3rd down gone by the wayside. Make them 3 for 16. And a combined 3 for 25 amongst both teams. LA still does not have a 3rd down conversion. And a chance for Charleston to give the football back to LA. LA is, with that stop, it might be in a good spot if they can get some quick points.
Yeah, another key note while we wait for this punt to go away that reflects the scoreline is the difference in total plays between these two teams. Charleston, this being their 15th drive, has gone called 78 plays compared to just 49 on 14 for LA.
Not fantastic. That'll be a fair catch called for and retrieved. 1st and 10 for LA. They still have a lot of work to do. See if Sully Richardson can do it. 3 to the right. 1 to the left. The one to the left out far. Defensive line moves right to left as well. Robert Johnson in the backfield. They go his direction in the flat. Quick little screen play on the check down. Not going to happen. Make it 2nd and 11. That screenplay did not work, and they got to try to scrap that and try to do something else downfield.
Yeah, they're going to have to at this point, but it may be to their detriment considering how they've gone so far.
There's a long ball over the middle. First time we've seen that in a little while. 1st and 10 for LA, and I believe that's Chris Lee they found over the middle.
That was, in fact, Chris Lee they found over the middle, and as I say, it's dangerous. It works out for him.
They're going to go his direction again, and they'll get him an 8-yard completion. Chris Lee, if they wake him up, he's able to get something downfield. Watch how this offense moves. Out to the left side. Going to have to work some room through the left, and that's not going to work. They're going to lose a couple yards in the process. They're still running the no huddle. 3:49 left. Looking to throw. Left side. That one is a catch. Jack Flash brings that one in. 1st down, he steps out of bounds and stops the clock. And it'll give a chance for LA to huddle up and get a different formation on the field.
And LA, with that catch by Jack Flash, picks up their first 3rd down conversion of the game. And boy, could it not have come at a better time.
That is a feat. 3 to the right, 1 to the left. They would have liked them to happen sometime sooner, too. Richardson in the gun, has the football, 3-step drop, looks, throws, heaves it over the middle, tipped, and nearly intercepted. Everybody's heart went into their throat, and the LA faithful, as they were trying to see if Reese could bring that one down off the tip, didn't happen, and LA lives again.
Yeah, Josh Reese trying to copy the example of Corey Menner. Unfortunately, Josh Reese does not quite have the grip of Corey Manor on that one, but still a big deflection to bring up second down.
3 to the left, 1 to the right for Richardson. Big second down play. Got to figure it out. Play action. Has a chance short. Going to try to check it down a little bit and get the third down to be more manageable. 3rd and 5 coming with 3.5 left to go. 2 to the left. 1 to the right in the no huddle. 3 to the left, actually. In the gun. Has the football. Play action again. Looks. Throws left. Tipped and incomplete. 4th down coming. And it'll be a go for it situation for LA. We'll see if they can do something with it.
Yeah, that was Tommy Zanardi, who's been relatively quiet from his strong safety spot, picking up a big pass deflection on 3rd down. And if you're the Lycans, you've got to go for this. You don't have an option at this point.
They are doing so. 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Sully's going to try to figure something out here. In the gun, has the football. Another play action play. Deep over the middle. That one's incomplete. A dropped ball is going to turn the ball over on downs, and Charleston may be walking in at Zach Lay in the coverage. What a play, and also what a defensive stand from Charleston to not give LA anything after they got the long pass downfield initially.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with the decision to go on 4th down, but this is the second time in this second half that the Lycans have turned the ball over on 4th down.
And don't look now, but we're probably going to get a steady diet of one Keith Swearingen. Tight offensive set. Time to kill. Handoff through the middle. That is a run up the middle for 1. Clock continues to go as the timeout has not been called yet, as LA still has all 3 of theirs to this point.
Yeah, and I think it's smart for LA to try and hold on to these timeouts, though being down by 3 scores with under 3 minutes to go, it's not looking likely that LA is going to be moving on.
Offset I formation. Seven in the box defensively. Plenty of time being taken off this play clock. Finally a run to Swearingen. He's going to have some holes on the right side. Has a first down and more down the sideline. And I believe he managed to stay inbounds as well. He did. And that clock continues to go because of it. 1st and 10 for Charleston.
Yeah, that's a lucky break for Charleston. A not so lucky one for LA that Swearingen is tackled inbounds as the clock's going to run down probably to the 2-minute warning here.
Yeah, I don't see another play happening before that 2-minute warning, to be honest with you. Charleston has all the right, as much right as anybody, to try to burn this clock as much as they can. Good clock management so far by the sideline for Charleston. Charleston either plays Atlanta or Florida next week as we get to the 2-minute warning of play. 2 minutes to go, and Charleston looks like they're going to be moving on. We'll put a cap on this as we come back from Charleston. It's the SFL presented by APM Music on For the Fans. Stay right there. First and 10 for Charleston, trying to put a button on this victory and move themselves into the quarterfinal round for the first time in this team's iteration's history, as this will be a run forward, but then also backward as Swearingen's taken down, and it'll be a timeout taken by LA. Second and 12 coming. And talking about Charleston moving on to next week, as long as things hold, which it looks like they will. They either have Florida or they have Atlanta, depending on what happens in the next game between Vancouver and St. Louis. So keep that in your back pocket as we have that game starting up in about 15 minutes time at 6 Eastern. Run through the middle for Swearingen. 3rd and 9 as he gets a couple yards back. But Aaron Alexander, this game got turned on its head as Charleston really adjusted well coming out of the halftime break.
Yeah, absolutely. The adjustments that Charleston made at halftime combined with a bit of a falling apart of the Lycans defense has twisted this game into the hands of Charleston with two touchdowns in this half, as well as a couple extra field goals from the kicker, Brad Bratchett.
And a running, throwing attempt, but not going to happen as he doesn't get the ball away. LA is going to use their last timeout, make it 4th and 11, as that'll be an Ace Blackwell sack. And that's probably going to be the last positive note of the season for LA.
Yeah, but, at least it's a positive one for the Week 4 signing. The short season rookie coming up with a big play to at least force the punt. It doesn't allow Charleston to hit victory formation just yet here, as LA's gonna have a chance to at least try and get something on the board for pride at least.
LA is gonna get something, or gonna get at least the ball back, and it'll be returnable from about the 10-yard line down to the 16. And no further than that. Coming up on post-game update, Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green will break down today's game between the Lycans and the Predators, recap one season coming to an end, and preview the final matchup of the wild card round still to come on the SFL Network streaming platform. St. Louis at Vancouver. It all comes your way next on the SFL post-game update. So lots more action to go, as that one promises to be a good one. St. Louis owns a victory over Vancouver earlier this season as well. So that is going to be a bit of a grudge match going forward. Another big sack, as that one's a Sully Richardson takedown. And that's a rough way to go with about a little over a minute to go.
Yeah, it was Joseph Sabolka on the sack there.
Broken tackle, gets shy of the first down, 3rd and 2 as they continue to run the no huddle. 80 seconds left in this football game. 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Richardson's going to try again under center. Has the football, looks left, throws left. That's going to be caught first down as he does get out of bounds to stop the clock and extend it a little bit further. That is Jack Flash, another catch, his 4th.
Yeah, definitely a great job by Sully Richardson getting this into the hands of Jack Flash. A tough one here for the Lycans, but definitely some positives for them to take out of it. And of course, the offseason still to come to try and figure some things out.
It's going to be a throw from Richardson, tipped and intercepted. One more to add to the totals, as that one's another tip drill and another one picked up. I think that might have been Johnny Bravo again, if I'm right, who brings it. Nope, who brings that one down? Maybe not. Either way, a 5th interception on the day for Sully Richardson.
Yeah, that was Josh Reese, the free safety, off the deflection from Zach Lay. As that ball just kind of hung on Zach Lay's helmet for a while and allowed Josh Reese plenty of time to get there and just pick it up off of his helmet.
So to still cap off, still a very good season from LA, continuing to improve upon their entrance into the LA market. A 7-5 record this season, a 2nd place finish in the Pacific Division, could very close to a 1st place finish, and got to mark that as improvement in that locker room. Got a lot of good players, a lot of really good personalities. Got to meet a lot of them at the convention this earlier this season, week 3 in Houston, in League City, Texas, anyway, and very good stuff from really everybody in that locker room that you come into contact with. Tom Rahman, Rochelle Colson, the main champions of that as they work to make a better football team out of the Lycans season in and season out. Charleston will move on. Victory formation on the field. And with 19 seconds left, that is likely going to be your last play of this football game. And so Charleston gets either Atlanta or Florida in 1 week's time. Their season not finished just yet. They get the win at home in front of their home faithful. And it gets tougher from here. No doubt about that one. This was a defensive turf war that has officially come to an end. The Predators come out with the win 29-10. Congrats to Charleston for moving on, and also congrats to LA on a very good season to this point. But a matchup that Charleston owned the second half of, otherwise it was basically even Steven.
Yeah, and I think those last two stats you see on the board there, the two biggest reasons why Charleston won this game, almost double time of possession and 6 takeaways by the Charleston defense here. Of course, you have the 5 interceptions, the 2 by Johnny Bravo, 2 by Corey Menner, and the 1 by Josh Reese there at the end. And of course, the fumble recovered by Johnny Bravo, caused by Josh Reese, that set up some additional points for Charleston as well. Still definitely not a terrible game all said and done for LA. Of course, there's definitely some things that they can work on in the offseason, but still a positive sign of forward progress for this Lycans team.
A whole lot of progress all the way throughout this regular season. Didn't quite turn out in the wild card weekend, but that's okay. They are going to be back stronger in a season's time, no doubt about that one, especially with that core moving forward. But Charleston moves on. LA, unfortunately, their season is over. That's okay. They'll be back, and Charleston moves on. That Statue of Liberty play, though, that was over the Corey Menner, that is going to be your play of the game just about in any game. But let's talk about player of the game in this quarter, in this wild card clinching matchup. Charleston, I'd say probably Keith Swearingen, if not maybe Johnny Bravo. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think this one's actually going to go to the defensive side of the ball. I could definitely see Johnny Bravo. I think that's the front runner for player of the game honors here. But of course, a honorable mention to both Corey Menner and Josh Reese as well. But I think we're going to see Johnny Bravo here as player of the game.
We'll see that in just a moment. Still a post-game update coming after this one, just ahead of the Vancouver-St. Louis matchup in a very short amount of time. That's the last wild card matchup to go before we have our quarterfinal matchup set. As that one's going to be your main cog to figure out who plays who. Keith Swearingen gets your player of the game, 83 yards, a touchdown, and 37 receiving yards to go with a very good effort on that side of the football. For Aaron Alexander and Declan O'Rourke, as well as Justin Reside, along with Cameron Irvine in the booth, I'm Chris Curtis saying goodbye and good night from Charleston. We'll have you out to the second wildcard matchup today in just a little bit. For now, back to post-game update. And Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green after a quick break on For the Fans. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in just a couple minutes.
Welcome to Sim Football Post Game along with Mike St. Green. I'm Cameron Irvine. What a game, 29-10. Charleston beats Los Angeles, and Mike St. Green has your stat of the day from that ball game that turned the tide.
Yeah, Cam, as Nate Hall mentioned in the chat that Charleston had outscored Los Angeles 20-0 in the second half. It wasn't just as simple as that, on the surface. It looks like they just had a great halftime talk. Got chewed out by Jacob Clear and came out fired up. But Charleston did receive the ball first in the second half. They punted it back to LA. And here's the note, Cam. 9 minutes and 10 seconds left in the third quarter. LA decided to go for it on fourth down from midfield. Robert Johnson was stuffed by Jack Brown, and that's where the game turned, Cam. It was all Charleston after that led to the fourth Brachette field goal. Then had another great play on defense from Joseph Soboka on the very next possession on a tip pass that forced a punt. And then, Charleston, they were rolling from there. Buchanan Simons with a touchdown pass. And then Josh Reese forced a fumble that was picked up by Johnny Bravo. And they were just rolling from there. So that was the key statistic to me. LA, they were dominating the game on defense. You're on the road. You're in the playoffs. You're up by one at midfield. Why take that risk right there? Punt the ball, play defense, and hope for the best.
And remember, too, that was a play that was challenged by Jacob Clear when they had originally marked it a first down, and it was almost like L.A. couldn't let it go, right? Charleston takes the first down away from them. L.A. says, no, we should have had that. We're going to get that. And that it was almost like they got lost in the moment a little bit. Like you said, just punt it away, play defense. They haven't gotten a touchdown all game. They got no momentum, right? And that was the huge turning point in this game. It's not often we talk about a 4th and inches being a huge turning point, but it was. And Charleston was a different team after that failed 4th down conversion. What a day for Corey Menner, Johnny Bravo on the outside. They were tremendous, and they get the victory. So, coming up next on the SFL family of networks, as catch our bearings here. But coming up next is St. Louis and Vancouver, and that game comes your way at the top of the hour on SFL Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. It is St. Louis, Vancouver. I'm on the call with Wade Phillips for that game, and it should be another great one. And the matchup will determine all 4 quarterfinal matchups.
Yeah, Cam, this is going to be an interesting matchup. These teams met in Vancouver just a few short weeks ago. St. Louis held Vancouver to some of the lowest offensive totals all season long. Tom Pepper, he leads the league in passing yards in 4,500, 62 yards, but in that game they held them to 35 yards passing. They held Robert Redford, Vancouver's great running back, to only 29 yards rushing, and held Vancouver to only 16 points. Can that St. Louis defense produce that same type of result here in a few minutes? We're going to find out.
Find out indeed. That is it for our coverage of the SFL playoffs on For the Fans. Join us next week at 1 p.m. Eastern for a quarterfinal doubleheader. Until then, we'll see you over on the SFL family of networks. Twitch.tv/SimulationFL is your primary place to watch. For Mike St. Green, I'm Cameron Irvine. Have a great rest of your weekend.